Sunday early afternoon it is. Welcome to lower downtown Denver and welcome inside beautiful Coors Field. Last night a crowd of more than 46,000 on hand. Should be another big house today as the Rockies look to take 3 of 4 from the Milwaukee Brewers. And good afternoon, everybody. Glad you're along, as always, with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. One of the things the Rockies will try to do today is win on a Sunday for the first time at Coors Field all year. They showed a lot of emotion last night. Unfortunately, they came up on the short end.
Well, absolutely. There was a lot of emotion. There was a lot of base hits, a lot of runs scored. Obviously, it played the plate last night. There was a lot of things that went on in this ball game that really raised up the emotions of a baseball team, particularly this play at home plate where Iannetta thought he had him, and you saw more emotions out of Chris Iannetta than you will ever see again. I mean, he's slamming mask, he's in the guy's face, and I'm going to tell you right now, folks, they make mistakes. They're not perfect. Guys strike out, guys don't make pitches, guys don't get base hits, yet this was a big play in a game, and this may be one that kind of sticks in your call, and nobody feels worse right now than the umpire that made the call once he had the ability to look at a replay. Then it became the 9th inning. Off of Houston Street, a slider that stayed out in the middle of the plate, and the ball just carried and carried over the dead center field, and then they turned it over to their bullpen, and the Rockies walk away with a loss. But win today's game, you win a series.
And that's the bottom line. And Jim Tracy was talking about that earlier. If you win series, continue to win series, you'll get yourself back in it. Now, the Rockies can't settle for 50-50.
No.
They can't win a series, lose a series. They've dug themselves a hole. They need to dig themselves out. And today they have an opportunity to take 3 of 4 against Milwaukee. When we come back, we'll talk about Ian Stewart. He has been a different guy since his return from Colorado Springs. Afternoon at Coors Field. And in the background, Ian Stewart's getting ready. He's played splendid defense since his return from Colorado Springs. You expect that. He's also more aggressive at the plate. Last night he threw out a single and a triple, and he's very, very confident right now offensively. It's good to see. For more on the Ian Stewart story, we go field level to Mark Stott. Mark?
All right, Drew, up number 9 in the lineup again today, hitting 6th. Playing third base. You mentioned some of his numbers. Let's look at them. In this series, 5 for 12. His average since his return, 290. That's up to his overall average, 90 points on the season. And that's a lot when you think of it. That's what he's done in this month alone. After last night's ball game, he told me what the differences are with him at the plate.
Just going up there and feeling confident and relaxed, and I just feel like I'm seeing the ball well. I've done some things, opened up, lowered my hands, but and with doing that, it's made me feel better at the plate, and then getting some hits has made me confident.
Drew, as we know, he can hit 25 homers in a season. He's hit an upper deck homer, and he's also been compared by Jim Tracy to Adrian Beltre, a Gold Glove third baseman. It's all there, it just has to be consistent.
It's a great point, Mark. It is all there. He has immense talent, and he's starting to show it the last few days. Looks to continue that trend this afternoon. Rockies and Brewers, come on back to Coors Field with us. Root Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By the Ford Fiesta with 40 MPG. It's a pretty big deal. Ford Fiesta, drive one. By Quest. Quest is becoming CenturyLink. Your link begins here. Find out more at CenturyLink.com/link. By Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Glorious Sunday afternoon at 20th and Blake. The Rockies will say so long to the Brewers after this. Welcome in the Atlanta Braves. Corey Hart hitting the leadoff spot yesterday for the first time in 2 years, and he hit a 2-run home run. At the time, it made it 3-2 Colorado. Southwest batting order will be missing one Ryan Braun. He's still nursing soreness in the calf and hamstring area on the left side. So Mark Kotsale hit behind Niger Morgan in the 3 spot. Then Prince fielder Ricky Weeks, who it turned out to be the 2-run home run that won the ballgame in the 9th inning yesterday. George Kataris will do the catching. Casey McGee will bat 7th. Josh Wilson again at shortstop. And then Sean Markham, all to face Aaron Cook, who has, to be honest, has struggled.
He has struggled, but pitched better at home. 3.57 ERA, a lot better than 3 starts here at Coors Field than it has been out on the road. And Aaron Cook 6-3 at his career versus Milwaukee, looking for win number 70 in his career.
And the first pitch misses badly, and it's 1-0. Here's some more numbers on Aaron Cook. And he has good numbers at Coors Field against Milwaukee. Overall in his career, he has good numbers against Milwaukee. 6-3 with a 3.13 ERA. And this is gloved right away by Ian Stewart back live. A bullet off the bat of Corey Hart. Now, the Rockies play good defense. That has been a staple of theirs the last 5-6 years. Cargo, Dexter, and Seth Smith in the outfield. Stewart and Tulowitzki left side. Johnny Herrera in for Mark Ellis at second base. Jason Giambi, the big man's at first base. And Eliezer Alfonso giving a day off to Chris Iannetta. And, of course, Eliezer had to come in last night's ball game in the 7th inning after Chris had his first career ejection. Did a nice job at a line drive single to right his first time up in a Rockies uniform. I don't know if I've ever seen Nyjer Morgan, George, swing before he had 1 strike. He's got that top of the order mentality.
Leadoff mentality of trying to work counts into his favor, and he's done a pretty good job of that in this series so far.
Done a real good job against righties this year. Frazier, he's hitting .340. That will work.
Plus missing early in the season.
And this could be a tough chance for Cook, and no chance. He threw it into right field. Fortunately, Herrera redirected himself and got to the baseball. So it is an infield hit for Morgan.
Just bunted into no man's land, and when you have this happen to you, down on a swing on a hard sinker, and the ball gets out in front, gets into the grass area. Cook's the only thing he can do is try to grab bare hand flip. Well out of the reach of Giambi. Heads up play. It's Johnny right back in position to keep this ball second base.
And that'll bring up Mark Kotsay. Not only is Ryan Braun out of there, but Ryan Braun had done a lot of damage in his career against Aaron Cook. You could tell that Braun had re-aggravated that injury yesterday, George, because remember there was a ground ball, and obviously Braun runs really well, and you watch him going up the line, and he was going about 60%.
Yeah, lift that. And he pulled up right before the bag, and that's one of those deals where you just concern yourself because obviously you can't lose that bat, his versatility for a long period of time and have success.
Here it is last night. Hits a ground ball, and he comes out of the box pretty well, and then you can just tell he put it in cruise control. And it grabbed again. 1-0 on Kotsay. 2-0. You always want a good start. I think it's paramount for Aaron Cook because he's had trouble getting off to good starts this year since coming off the DL. More often than not, that sinker's been up in the first couple of innings.
Tries to overpower a lot of things. He's only the most pitches he's thrown in any start so far since coming back. Get the lead run. He'll go ahead and just get the out at first base. Giambi turned, looked, and then had Morgan in his path and just decided to make sure he got the out versus running the risk of having the ball get in the outfield.
So 2 outs, and that'll bring up Prince Fielder. Lefties have given Aaron traditionally more problems than righties. Not a surprise. But interestingly enough, he has handled Prince Fielder in his career.
Well, a dead pull guy likes to take the ball and hit it out of the ballpark. The ball moving down and away from him, so he gets a lot of ground balls rolled over on the right side.
Prince just 3 for 19 against Aaron. 302 average for Fielder. 2 outs, Morgan at second. And Cook will make sure Morgan stays pretty close to that bag.
see him start off with a breaking ball. You know, Aaron Cook, most of his career has been 80 to 85% sinkers.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at this big bender, and again, it's a off-speed pitch that Aaron had worked on and developed after coming off of the finger injury, and he utilized it a lot in his rehab start in Tulsa, and again at Colorado Springs when he went 7 innings in that start.
I just have to point that out, George, because this year he's throwing his sinker about 67% of his time.
Well, if you don't have command of something, that's where you don't know if you trust it. You know what I mean? You're up with it, so you're looking for other avenues, maybe a secret pitch to try to get somebody to hit the ball on the ground.
And again, in contrast to the past where it's been between 80 and 85% in his career. He's throwing more sliders and curveballs. And curveballs, you mentioned, George, that's a pitch he just added.
Yeah, fastball velocity, though, today's 91. Earlier starts, we'd looked at 84 to 88 miles an hour, and that's not Aaron Cook.
2 strikes on Fielder. Breaking ball, and he gets him to pop it up. Tulowitzki will battle the high sky. And Aaron gets out of that first inning. Nigel Morgan left at second, so good start for Cook. Getting ready to face Sean Markham. And they'll begin with this guy. That's always a good guy to start an inning with. Carlos Gonzalez, 291 average in his return last night. In the starting lineup, he went 1 for 5, had an infield hit in his 5th AB. Southwest batting order for Jim Tracy. Dexter will slide into the 2 spot with Mark Ellis taking the day off. Jason Giambi will bat 3rd. Then Tulowitzki and Smith. Ian Stewart slides up a notch. Alfonso, Jonathan Herrera, and Aaron Cook. Rockies amazingly are just 2-12 on Sundays, and I cannot believe that they have not won a Sunday ball game here the 3rd week of July at home yet in 2011.
Very surprising, and they got a tough character today in Sean Markham. This young man can really pitch, and I mean pitch. He'll be 87 to 91. He's going to sink both sides of the plate with his fastball. They're starting out with a low sinker. He works down in the strike zone.
George, you know what he is? He's a crafty lefty who happens to throw righty.
Well, you know, a lot of people don't understand, and again, they don't focus on it, but the art of pitching, and he is that. He is just the art of pitching, and he really relies on his catcher to frame a lot of his pitches within the strike zone. He'll test an umpire as he did there. He went from the corner out a little bit off. Are you going to give it to me? No. Okay, I know I got to bring it back. But it's not like he'll live in one zone. It's not like you're going to get to see the same pitch all the time.
And he dropped that curveball at 64 miles an hour. I mean, he tops out about 88, 89. He throws as many changeups as he does fastballs.
His secret to success is a lot like Greg Maddux, Tommy Glavine. He's not scared to throw a breaking ball behind in the count because he knows he has such good fastball command. Three-sport star at Excelsior, Missouri, where he played football, baseball. He wrestled, so it tells you a little toughness involved in Mr. Markham there. He spent a year at the University of Missouri and then transferred to Missouri State in Springfield, Missouri.
Went to the College World Series in '03 with Missouri State.
There's a few good players on that ball club.
Ryan Howard on that team?
No, Ryan, yes, and you know, a couple other pitchers. See, that's a hanger right at it. You gonna play it?
Yeah, Hart's going to grab it. Well, here's something interesting about Markham. We'll look at the numbers. George, right-handed hitters are hitting 161 against Markham. That's the best mark in the National League. And he gets strikeouts even though he doesn't throw hard. He almost strike out an inning. Lefties hit 289. So Jim Tracy obviously has a lineup of lefties today.
Loaded up. And his road ERA is 4th best in the league. 226 earned run average against him out on the road. Nobody on base, 213. Runner scoring position. They've hit 267 against him. Started out 6-2 in April and May. And since then, since June 1st, he's 1-1. The ERA has steadily climbed to go along with his even record.
Obviously, that bunt went foul, but I like the idea by Dexter Fowler. We talked a lot about it, particularly the first couple of months of the season. Dexter did a lot of work on it in the spring. That's got to be a big part of his game, doesn't it?
Well, it has to be. Utilize his speed when he can utilize it. If you look up and Prince Fielder's 15 feet behind the bag, you got a pitcher that squares up. It's speed versus you get to the baseball. So why not try it?
I was on the swing according to Alfonso Marquez. Another slow curveball, so it's 1-2. Markham, 8 innings against the Rockies at Miller Park, gave up just 1 run. That's his only career start against Colorado. And he went down in that spot where Dexter really struggles. Down and in for the punch out. 2 gone. Jason Giambi will come up. Milwaukee left Kotze for Braun in left. Niger Morgan again in center. Corey Hart is in right. McGee and Wilson on the left side. Weeks and Fielder on the right side. With Guitarist behind the plate. Weeks is the best defender in that infield. High fly ball to left field. Kotze waiting. And it's a 1-2-3 start for Sean Markham. No scores. We go to inning number 2.
Top 2, you may look at the Rockies lineup and see Alfonso, 55, in as the catcher and say, who is Alfonso? Eliezer Alfonso. Let's get you caught up to speed. He was signed by the Cardinals in 1996 as a free agent out of Venezuela. He was part of a deal that the Cardinals made with the team the Rockies are playing today, the Brewers, in 2000 for Fernando Vina. But the guy has played close to 1,000 minor league games, 15 seasons, 17 different teams. This is his 4th team in the bigs. He was with the Giants, Padres, Mariners, and now the Rockies. And Drew and Giorgio, by the way, 2 homers at Coors Field in 06 for the Giants off of Josh Fogg and Brian Fuentes. So he's been around.
Well, Mark, you know who his second cousin is, don't you?
Edgardo.
Yeah, who's a tremendous right-handed hitter. Here's the 1-0 to Ricky Weeks outside, 2-0.
Yeah, Bill Guyvette does a lot of this different times in the last 5-6 years. You sign a veteran guy that's not going to have a deer in headlights attitude if you have to use him at the big league level, that he's been here before.
Ground ball, fair, down the third base line. And Ricky Weeks has a double.
Yeah, Ricky Weeks starting to heat things up a little bit. You look back, he's hit .315 against the Rockies in 23 games, but just 200 this year. Well, that's changed in just the last 24 hours. That 2-run home run, and then now this hard sinker in, and he pulls it right down the third base line, right out of the reach of Ian Stewart. I mean, right over the top of the bag, and it just hugged all the way into that corner. But this is as a farm system, you know, if you don't have, and Rosario obviously isn't ready, he'd be here. Pacheco's not ready, he'd be here. So you have a veteran guy you get in case of an injury, failure of another player to perform, and then you bring him up here and they're in a comfortable situation. They're not intimidated about being in the big leagues.
Good pitch, and Kataris misses. 0-1. George Kataris, speaking of catchers, he's doing the catching tonight. He's been up and down this year between AAA and Milwaukee. It is one of the most difficult spots to fill in baseball.
Well, think about the last 25 years. Let's just talk about those years. I know there's a runner out at second, so we'll do it quickly. You know, two of the top catchers that really, maybe not 20 years, is Pudge Rodriguez and McCann. Offensive guys, they could catch, call a game, they throw people out, but how many more are there?
In terms of being the full package, you're right, because Mike Piazza was a Hall of Fame
Piazza's
offensive
another
player.
Guy. Yeah, obviously, but he couldn't catch. He could throw.
He couldn't throw. He could catch,
yeah.
but he couldn't throw.
No, so I mean, you know, there's not many guys out there that bring all the tools that you're looking for.
That's why, you know, even our generation, George, you bring up the great catchers and you Pudge, and then you're Johnny Bench.
Well,
you know,
exactly.
It goes quickly.
Right. I mean, there was guys that had great years a little bit, but over a 7, 8, 9, 10-year period, not that many.
1-1 on Kataris. And he does his job. He gets the ball on the right side. Weeks to third. 1 out. It's also why guys like an Eliezer Alfonso can stick around a long time.
You know what I saw the other
day
on MLB Network? I was sitting at home and I turned on this minor league game at 11 o'clock, and I said, all right, because they always have these 10, 11 o'clock games in the morning in the minor leagues, businessman special or breakfast, whatever you want to call it. And I turned it on. Corky Miller is still with the Cincinnati Reds in AAA.
Yeah,
his first spot in the big leagues was like in 2000. But he gets a call up back and forth occasionally. He adds time to his major league pension. He's going to probably be a coach someday.
I mean, look at Henry
Blanco.
And
they're paying him. Henry Blanco. But Blanco spent some time in the minor leagues as the third baseman. Mike Socia, to go back how far that was. Socia was managing him in AAA with the Dodger organization when they converted him from third base to catcher.
About the tip of the cap right now to Sean Markham. The infield's in with 1 out. McGee at the plate.
Well, remember, he played shortstop DH at Missouri State, where he could really swing the bat. He wasn't just a pitcher, so he was a DH and a first baseman in college. So he could swing the bat. He's got a home run, 6 RBIs on the year.
Center field, and should be deep enough. Deck sets his feet. Here comes Ricky Weeks. And it's 1-0 Milwaukee on the sac fly by McGee. So Milwaukee did the little things there after the leadoff double by Weeks. They got the move him up, ground ball from Kataris, and the fly ball from Casey McGee.
When you're looking at a lineup, and that's what I was meaning about Markham, a guy that's at the bottom is a pitcher with 1 home run, 6 RBIs. For Ron Renick, it allows him to keep him in the game longer, but you're looking basically at 8.5 bats because he's not an automatic out like a lot of pitchers. McGee's really struggled, and you know, try to figure out those answers. Hitting coaches have tried to figure them out with him this year. You discussed a little bit of it last night. You know, turning down a major contract and what effects that had on him.
Well, he had a good at bat there to drive in the run. Josh Wilson grounds to short. A run for Milwaukee. 1-0, middle of 2. Tulowitzki will lead things off for Colorado. They won 8-7 last night. Who wants tacos? Fans, remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more runs, as they did last night, in any ball game, make your way to Taco Bell between 4 and 6 the following day for your Rockies Tacos special. Tulo's biggest fan right there. There she is. All right, get ready to root on Troy. He's going to lead things off. 1 for 5 last night, an RBI single. Tulowitzki in the All-Star game, 1 for 2. 12th starter in the Midsummer Classic all time for Colorado. How about Milwaukee? They've had at least 3 players in the All-Star game 6 straight years.
Well, they got good players. Fielder, Braun, that's a couple of them. They've had some pitchers that have made it. That had to be the highest number of players that were selected that didn't play.
Well, with the new rule, and I guess they're gonna maybe amend that rule, where if you throw on Sunday, you're not automatically eliminated from participation.
But my point is, how many players? There's like 18 of them.
Well, there's 84 players that could claim All-Star status this year. And here's that slow hook, and it's 1-2.
But I'm like, you know, he can't do it. He pitched on Sunday. He can't do it. Or he came up with it. Well, and I understand clubs when they go to a player and they say, you know what, that calf's bothering you a little bit. You're not going. We need you in the second half. I don't need you pulling it at an All-Star game. I get that, but I mean, it was pretty amazing. Do you imagine? I mean, it's like I watch a lot of minor league All-Star games too, and you're looking, how's this guy there? He's hitting 230. Well, the other 4 guys that were a lot better than him bowed out. That's how he's there.
Markham strikes out. Troy Tulowitzki, second strikeout for Markham. That'll bring up Seth Smith. Windshield damage, call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelite.com. Markham won 13 ball games last year. Jorge De La Rosa of the Rockies on the road to recovery. It's a long process. Parker Frazier went through it, so George is very familiar with that. Parker's doing wonderfully this year at Modesto. Well, Sean Markham on the hill, Tommy John surgery a couple of years ago.
Well, if guys do what you're told to do, you know, James Andrews did Parker surgery, and Dr. Noonan's very good here in Denver. But if you do what they tell you to do, and then you follow along with here in Denver with Scotty Mariama, who does all that rehab stuff, it's terrific how they get guys back. And again, I'll say this: it depends a lot on the player, mental toughness and pain tolerance, because there's going to be some days it doesn't feel good, and you've got to pitch through that. You know, there's a difference between soreness and stiffness and pain, and you've got to be able to tell the difference and go ahead and try to throw through that and speed up the recovery.
And a base hit up the middle. First knock for the Rockies. Smith is aboard with 1 out for Ian Stewart. Now, this replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. Let's check out the series offensively for Ian Stewart. He went down and drove that pitch to right center field for a double. And then left on left, he had an opposite field double in the first ball game of the series. This ball he leaned on. That turned into a triple to right center. He's driving it gap to gap. He also had a bullet single last night. So Stewart, with confidence at a season high, comes up with 1 out. You get a guy like this, George, you really offensively have to think opposite field. If you try to pull a guy that's a soft tosser, you're playing right into their hands.
They play into their hands, exactly. I mean, that's what he's trying to get you to do. He wants double plays. You know, strikeouts are all pretty, and it looks great on the stat boards, but I just want a double play ball. I want to shorten it up and work as deep as. To me, you look at guys, and different clubs and different scouts will rate pitchers in different ways. Some guys look at innings pitched. You know, a 200 inning guy automatically puts you in that number 1, number 2 category. The guys that work deep into games and they have low pitch counts, they call them strike throwers. He's a strike thrower.
Just watching patterns. Folks, you watch games at home, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers watch on a regular basis, and you can do the scouting report also. Ian Stewart has struggled with two seamers, that hip side fastball. So where do they go when they get ahead? That's where Markham went. Dexter Fowler struggles on sliders on the back foot. What did he get in this series so far? The first one was a changeup, but it's down and in.
Yep. If you got a hole, they'll find it. Here was the ball rolling away to him. 66-mile-an-hour curveball. And here's the thing. Markham has the release and feel for the curveball right now. He's used it and used it very effectively.
So Alfonso up with 2 outs. Smith at first. Alfonso a base hit last night in his first Colorado Rockies at bat. That was his first knock since June 22nd of last year when he was playing for Seattle. It was an interleague game against the Cubs. He's got a reputation for being able to swing the bat and has some pop in the bat also. He's not going to steal bases for you, though, George. It's not happening.
You don't think so?
No.
Because the dirt's like wet, can't get a good correction.
Everybody has a different tool set.
That's absolutely right.
That's not one of his tools.
Now, you see it 6-8 season there, what he has accomplished, so 16 home runs. So there's some thunder in the lumber. If he gets the pitch, he can hit.
Like that, stay fair. It is a foul ball.
On the concourse.
What'd you say about thunder in the lumber?
There's some thunder in the lumber, as Phil Rizzuto used to say.
And a Longhorn has the rock. You don't have to throw that back. You can take it home. So
it's a foul ball.
And you want to know what? If it was fair, you could take it home also. That was a Rockies potential home run. Had a tough Saturday night, George. You thought it was a Wrigley Field or something. The wrong team hit. He's getting ready to toss it back.
Hey, what happened to the Ivy? Where's the bus? Something's going on here. There's no seats on the rooftops.
How foul was it? He's explaining.
Tell you what, he's got such great command of that changeup, slow curveball. And he throws a curve at 66, a change at 78 to 81 miles an hour. And look at him really pronate to the inside to create movement on the pitch and get you so far out on the front foot. It's the arm speed coming through and the release of the baseball that sells the pitch to the hitter.
2-2. And that's hooked to third, caught in the air by McGee. And that puts down the inning. Rockies got their first base runner. Smith a 1-out single. 1-0 Milwaukee. We're off to the third. Brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T. By King Soopers, more value for the way you live. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers visit wellsfargo.com/Rockies for 2-for-1 club level seats. Back at Coors Field in lower downtown Denver. Milwaukee leading 1-0, top of the third. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, and Mark Stout. Weather forecast for the day, George. That's a nice forecast.
93 and sunshine. I heard 98 earlier this morning. I was going to be surprised by that.
By the way, did you burn some popcorn?
No, but somebody did.
Dougie, did you burn the popcorn? Sean Markham will lead it off. Markham hit a grand slam on the 4th of July against Daniel Hudson and the Arizona Diamondbacks. So he's got 8 ribbies. I added 2. He's got 6. I didn't transcribe well this morning.
You were busy weed eating and doing work before you came in. Did you wear the protective glasses like you're supposed to?
I did some weeding yesterday, George. I don't like weeding.
Weed eating.
I didn't
take a weed eater.
No, I didn't do any of that this morning. Do a little BP.
Imagine that.
3-1 on Markham. Automatic take sign. 3-2. It's going to be a tough chance for Stewart, and you know that's in my mind. And Stewart's been great defensively, George, but that's a bad decision. Go with Leather there. You have the pitcher running.
You know, I think he was probably a little in between. It looked like he was. I kept thinking Leather, and I'm thinking, you know, bare hand. Let's watch and see. It almost looked and appeared to be that way. I think he gave a glance up, see, oh, maybe not. You know, they came down with it. And again, you field it cleanly, make the strong throw. You have him out. Therefore, this official score gave him an error on the play.
You talk about pre-pitch planning. You know, what am I going to do when it's hit to me? One of the elements of that is know who the base runner or the guy running is, the guy hitting, and what kind of speed he has. I mean, Markham, an athletic guy, but he's pitching. He's not going to tear it up the line like Niger Morgan. Having said that, Stewart's been just terrific defensively. He's made at least 3 very difficult plays in this series. But I think if he had that one back, he'd probably glove it and throw on the move, which he does well. 1-1 on Corey Hart. Giambi playing behind Markham. This one could be playable for Johnny Herrera. Nice try by Johnny. He had to find the wall, and the ball was arriving just as he got over there and checked out where he was. And not to mention his battle in the sun.
Well, that's the hardest part there, looking up. And then as you see, did you see his foot kind of looked like he dragged his toe a little bit to slow himself down? So when he got closer to that wall, tough play.
Center field, Fowler is there. 1 out.
Quick minor league mention on Tim Wheeler. Wheeler with 26 home runs right now. The Tulsa record for home runs is 32. Bubba Smith had it in 96. Buckley did it in 1983. 49 games remaining. Wheeler's got a great shot at breaking the Tulsa record. How about this? The actual record was set in 1926 with 49 home runs, but it was only 274 to the right field fence and 300 to dead center, so a little easier then. Tulsa joined the Texas League at 33, so Wheeler's got a chance to make history.
He's had an extraordinary year, and he had a really good spring. Here's
spring.
Niger Morgan, who does fire at the first pitch here. Doesn't do it frequently, 20 times this year, but when he puts it in play, he's 12 for 20, so kind of changed up the script a little bit. Morgan's had a good series. Picked up from Washington with just a day and a half left of spring training. He was telling me the other day that this Brewer clubhouse, the best he's been involved with. Guys are really close, pull for one another, loose clubhouse. And that's a line drive to left. A base hit for Morgan. Markham goes to second. There's 2 on with 1 out. Well, coming up in the 6th inning, Toyota Talk. We do it every day, all season long. Text your comments, your thoughts. See what you and other Rockies fans are thinking about.
Told you I was biking to the park today. You didn't.
Did you take a break last night?
I did. I slept at the Marriott, but then I came back and got on the bike and biked in today.
You look great, man.
Okay, they had 21st and Street, 21st and the 20th and Blake has a great place for you to park your bike. It's very secure. A lot of people watching out there, so it's a great day to ride to the yard.
We don't have a subject yet for you. We're going to come up with one for Toyota Talk later on in the ball game. Mark Kotze at the plate. Speaking of bikes, I have a story for you. That is foul. 3 Milwaukee Brewer players today. You know how the what's the new thing in a lot of major cities where you can grab a bike and then you leave it somewhere else?
It's rent a bike.
It's called bike share. Thank you. And 3 Milwaukee Brewers, they did bike share this morning, and they rode in from a hotel downtown.
Yeah, and you can park it right over there.
Yeah, they parked it by the clubhouse.
Yep. Turn them back in.
Somebody's going to have to turn it back in for them because they have to catch charter to Phoenix after the ball game. 1 strike to count on Kotze. He had a ground ball to Giambi his first time up. Brewers up 1-0, top of 3. And that's going to go foul. Oh, 2 outside. Aaron strikes out just a little more than 3 hitters per 9 innings, which is an extremely low rate. So you know the ball's in play, and there are times obviously where you'd like to get that punch out, and he gets it right here. That's one of those times, and he got it, George, with the curveball.
Yeah, he did. That's the pitch he's tried to utilize other than just the sinker. Kotze plays, but typically as a pinch hitter. Doesn't do an awful lot every day playing, but with Braun out, here he is left on right. He throws the slow curve. Look how far out he is on his front foot trying to swing this. Cook totally sold the pitch and got a good result out of it.
Nice pattern, George, to Prince Fielder the first time.
Curveball, sinker in, and then he went curveball again. And he popped it up to 2 of whiskey.
You're talking about a very bright hitter at the plate, Fielder. So see how this matchup goes right now. I'm sure Cook will try to change the pattern with Alfonso. He does. He goes heavy sinker, and it's strike 1. Fielder, 3rd in the league with 22 home runs. First with 73 RBIs. First in extra base hits with 46. His on base percentage of .421 is 2nd in the league. 1 ball, 1 strike. There are exceptions to the rule. Vladimir Guerrero in his prime, and the rule being most hitters that hit for extremely high average have outstanding eyes. Vladimir Guerrero was a free swinger. He's never a guy that was going to walk a ton, but most guys that hit for high average have a great idea of the strike zone. Fielder is obviously first and foremost a power guy, but he hits for decent average. He knows the strike zone well. Both he and Braun, you don't see them expand frequently. 2-1 on Fielder with 2 outs and 2 on. And Aaron tried to catch the outside corner there, was off the black. It's 3-1. Speaking of Vladimir Guerrero, went on the DL this morning, a broken hand, broke a bone. Ground ball, foul. Things not going so well for the Baltimore Orioles.
You know what? They started out really well the first 15-20 games of the season, and then since then, Buck has not had a lot of fun being Buck.
Yeah, they're winning this afternoon at home. Camden Yards 5-3 over Cleveland.
Grady Sizemore left after hitting a double early in that ball game.
They won yesterday, George. That snapped a 9-game losing streak. Three and 2 on Fielder. Markham at second, Morgan at first. Ball 4. And now they're loaded up for Ricky Weeks. Looking to save energy and money? Find out how the little changes add up at TogetherWeSave.com, your local Touchstone Energy cooperative, delivering reliable power, energy saving tools, and much, much more. Weeks a double down the left field line his first time up.
Well, their ball clubs hit 300 with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Weeks has not gotten a base hit. He's 0 for 5 with the bases loaded.
And the slow curveball missed. Ricky Weeks, 9th inning. 2 outs against Houston Street. We got a slider that didn't slide enough. And you know what? If Dexter had a little more hops, George, he probably catches that ball, huh?
Maybe.
I was kidding him about that today. I mean, Dexter had half his body over the wall, and he got very close to making that grab. 2-0, and now you're in a real difficult situation.
You just got to hope that he'll go after a fastball and it'd be a sinking ball and get it on the ground.
Bases loaded, 2-0 on Ricky Weeks. The Brewers already up 1-0. 2 outs in the 3rd. And that was a good sinker.
Sometimes with Aaron Cook, he'll try to create the sink versus letting it happen based on his release of the baseball. So I think that's something that, you know, it's a difficult line to follow, but one that is necessary, that it doesn't have to be 94. It can be 87, but if it has a sink in a location, you can get good results out of it.
On the ground to short. He's going to get out of it. Nice job by Aaron Cook. Went back to the trusty one, the sinker, and the Brewers leave him loaded. McDonald's Big Mac smack. On Thursday, Ryan spilled water to the bottom of the first inning, smacked one off the foul pole. He hit it off the foul pole. It's fair ball. Home run. Be sure to text McD to get a free Egg McMuffin or Big Mac with the purchase of any drink. One per person, valid tomorrow only at participating Northern Colorado, Nebraska, and Wyoming McDonald's. Message and data rates may apply. Now Aaron Cook made a big pitch to get out of that bases loaded situation. Rockies in the third inning will have Jonathan Herrera, Aaron Cook, and Carlos Gonzalez to face Sean Markham. Markham's allowed one hit. Seth Smith single with one out in the second inning. Alfonso lined out. Cargo lined out his first time up. And other than that, the Rockies have struggled with Markham's slow and slower stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And then all of a sudden, here comes the 88, 89 mile an hour fastball, but it's been located very well. Johnny Herrera going to lead off this inning. Well, he's gone to a little bit more slide open stance. It's paid off in July, where he's hit 400 in 20 at bats.
Yeah, the amazing split is Johnny's hit 302 out on the road, just 200 at Coors Field. 1 ball, 1 strike on Johnny Herrera while he was filling in for Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki down with the quad injury. He went 8 for 17 with a couple of walks. So valuable. And Johnny gets underneath this one. Niger Morgan in center field waiting. I'll bring up Aaron Cook. Wells Fargo customers, we tell you every night it's a great deal. Get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. That's Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Saw your old friend Jim Fregosi, chatted with him earlier today.
Little Jimmy was with him too.
Yeah, well, Braves must be coming, right?
Well, both those guys, no advancing. Bob Johnson was here advancing us for the Braves. He's the advanced scout. He left town because of who they play after us. And then Fregosi and those guys came in, and they're doing their pro work right now. And, of course, when you throw out certain names on a trade block that players might be there, it will attract the top people out of an organization to come watch. Jim Fregosi Sr. with the Atlanta Braves. His son, Junior, caught, played minor league baseball, is with the Philadelphia Phillies.
2-1 on Cook.
Now you want to come out and watch the Atlanta Braves? They're going to be here Monday through Thursday. So get your tickets. There's a lot of ways to go do it. You can stop by the dugout stores, King Supers. Tough play here. You don't want anything to do with Markham.
Markham is going to catch it. Now McGee comes in.
Markham can't see now. Looks straight into the sun. He's like, wait a minute. Let me gain some of this back.
You know, you're right. That's exactly what's going on. It's going to take Markham.
Yeah, he couldn't get his eyesight.
It's going to take him a minute or two to get the black spot out of his eyes.
Markham. He's pointing at it. He's trying to let everybody know about it. Contreras, he's got it. You got it. Nope. And then McGee started yelling, so everybody backed up and got out of his way. And then Markham just put his head down. He's like, man, oh, man. Cargo
out front a little bit his first time up. Hit a laser shot to right that Corey Hart reached up and caught. Fastball away. .66-mile-an-hour hook.
It commands it. That's the best part about him. He commands it in the strike zone. He can really spin it to the outside part of the plate to left-handers. And that's what he did when the Rockies were in Milwaukee. He kept the curveball away, not in. They want a heater in here. A little bit of that cut fastball at 89. 85. See, on this, I've got lines on my telestrator where I can't see a lot of the numbers. So I guess sometimes at the bottom.
3-1.
Then Doug hits me and tells me what it was.
Markham, third-round pick out of Missouri State in 2003 by Toronto.
Ross Delweiler, you just saw in Washington, a first-round draft pick also.
And this is on the ground to Ricky Weeks. 1-2-3 inning in the third for Sean Markham. Once again with Mark Stout. He's got today's Fast Cash Sideline Report. It's brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Mark?
Drew George, historic day when you talk about baseball. 70 years ago, July the 17th, 1941, Joe DiMaggio goes 0-for-3 against the Indians. His 56-game hit streak is snapped. Everybody knows about the streak. It made him an American icon. Today I talked to Carney Lansford, the Rockies hitting instructor. His longest streak was 24 games. It was an A's record. He did it in '84 until 1997 when Jason Giambi broke it, when Giambi hit in 25 straight. The Rockies record, by the way, is 23 straight, and it's held by Dante Bichette. But today, 70 years ago, the Yankee Clipper 0-for-3, guys.
And then he went on, 16 in a row after that. Pretty good stuff. We have this discussion about once a year, once every couple of years, George. That streak ever get broken?
I think so. .512 wins won't either.
1-1 on Kataris.
5-11. Okay. 5-11 won't get broken either.
No, that's the one record that won't get broken. Period. Time for our AT&T trivia question, as Casey McGee will come up with one out. How many strikeouts did Joe DiMaggio have in 1941, the year of his hit streak? Was it 66? Was it 13? Was it 102? Was it 27? McGee, a sac fly, his first time up. More and more first pitch curveballs by Aaron Cook. The Brewers all time in Colorado 16-35. They've had less success in Colorado than any other visiting ballpark in baseball. Rockies have won 2 of the first 3. And too good a pitch, 0-2. And it's ripped to right center field. And McGee, because it was knocked down, is going to move to second base, as Dexter couldn't come up with it cleanly.
I want to see something here, and I think I did see it. Aaron Cook is a what? Sinker ball pitcher. And one of the hardest things to do is ask a sinker ball pitcher to bring a fastball above that level. And when you do, to me, you're asking for trouble, because they never throw up there. They never ask themselves to go up there. And at 89 miles an hour, it's a pretty hittable pitch. You know, and for Aaron Cook, I mean, he didn't choose. He agreed to throw it, obviously, but for me to go up and you're a sinker ball pitcher is not a good choice, particularly when you're that far ahead in the count.
You know, sometimes, and you're alluding to this, George, sometimes we say, oh man, you know, the catcher put down the wrong fingers.
No,
the
you
ultimate
exactly.
The ultimate decision's on you.
Well, and I always say this, you know, and people can make suggestions to pitchers. You can offer all of the advice you want to, but when it comes down right to it, it doesn't say L. Goodman by the name in the paper. It'll say either win or loss for Aaron Cook or whoever it may be. You know, and that's where you've got to make your ultimate decision. You're the guy that has to do it. You know, anybody, and I listen to it a lot, but man, it's, you know, it's one of the deals. You've got to have the final say-so.
2-strike count right now on Josh Wilson. They gave Dexter an error on that play, so it's a single and an error, and it's a tough error, but Dexter was over there. McGee was content with a single. Kind of went softly around the bag, which, you know, you don't teach to young players. You teach, you know, make sure they field it into a single, otherwise go hard. And McGee, though, to his credit, once he saw the ball kind of overrun, he went to second. One and two on Josh Wilson. Wilson started the year with Seattle, at least in spring training, and then he was released. Arizona signed him the same day. Spent the first part of the year with the Diamondbacks, and then he was released, and Milwaukee grabbed him. He's got an opportunity right now, according to Ron Renicky. Renicky trying to find the right combination. The bottom of his order has struggled. Towards the first five, you know they're talented.
Well, the one guy he's kept down there, LaCroix's hit 280. I mean, he's somebody that, you know, you'd like to see him continue to catch fire, hit with a little power, but the people surrounding LaCroix has had difficult. It's been a difficult season for him to be consistent. And we've talked about it. Their defense in the infield with Betancourt in, all of them in double digits in errors. So we're looking for a little defensive help too.
Two, and this is a fly ball to Seth Smith. Two outs, and that'll bring up Sean Markham. Let's take a look at our minor league report presented by Suzuki Auto's all-wheel drive lineup. Suzuki, the power of engineering. Jordan Pacheco, 3 hits yesterday, including a pair of doubles. He's come on offensively. He has the average up to 284, a couple of home runs, 35 driven in. Tim Wheeler's been sensational. He's been the offensive player of the year so far in the Rockies system. 26 home runs now. Kent Mathis, big strong guy. He hit a home run yesterday. Also Nina with a home run. Kyle Parker, 2 more home runs. George, I was looking at his RBI total, and he had 6 yesterday. He's doing what the Rockies thought when Billy Schmidt made him the #1 pick out of Clemson. He drives people in.
He does drive a lot of people in, and I think he's finding out, and this is what happens to a lot of young players when they first sign. That first year is a little bit of a roller coaster. He hit, well, 360, 370 the first month and a half, and then kind of dipped back down and back up again. The toughness it takes to play 140, 150 game schedule at the minor league level. And the bus rides, the different hotels. I mean, it's not a thing of joy. You've got to have a strong passion for the game to go do it.
And this is the first time he's a full-time baseball player.
Exactly. He's not thinking about going to spring football and getting his arm in shape. And he's not, you know, as a quarterback at Clemson, he's thinking about nothing but baseball.
1-1 on Markham. 1-2 on Markham. Kyle Parker now hitting 281, solid average, 12 home runs. He's driven in 68 runs, and he's done that in, I want to say, about 80 ball games, 79 ball games. 68 runs batted in 79 ball games. Well, that's what you want from a middle of the order guy. He generates a lot of pop, and I know folks probably haven't seen Kyle Parker yet. He's not this 6'4", 230-pound guy. He's a shade over 6 foot, 195 pounds. That kind of physique, strong guy. He's a tremendous quarterback, obviously at Clemson. And he generates a lot of pop on a mid-size frame. Markham battling away, 2-2. Brewers just 3 for 23 with runners in scoring position in this series against the Rockies. Kind of consistent with what they've done all year out on the road. At home, obviously, a different story. Best home record in the game. 2-2. Ground ball to third. And Stewart bobbles again. He's got no play unless he can run to the bag. And he cannot. Wow. That is the third error of the ball game on the Rockies. Second on Stewart. That is, we were bragging on his defense, and he's been terrific. That is as routine a play as a third baseman will get. This is an easy one.
Well, when you got a pitcher like Aaron Cook on the mound, it's going to get you a lot of ground ball outs. You've got to execute the other side of it when he gets it, particularly with 2 outs. And he got this perfectly for him, hit right to him, and it bit it a couple of times. He had the runner out in front of him, and when he looked up, he looked over third. You see the disgust on his face. He looks over at first. Okay, I don't have Markham, who was jogging up the line, but yet he had the runner right in front of him.
And you know what Ron Reinecke's saying right now? He goes, make them pay. That's what good teams do.
You have to.
You're forcing Cook to now get a middle of the order type hitter in Corey Hart. He's hitting leadoff for just the second time in the last 2 years. He's done it 85 times now in his career. He's lined out twice, once to third, once to center. Rockies have 2 more errors in this game than they have hits. Here's the 0-1 to Hart.
Hey, you can select your seats now, your own seats here at the ballpark on interactive seat maps at ColoradoRockies.com. Try it out. You'll really like it. So you can go to your computer, go to ColoradoRockies.com, and select where you'd like to sit at the yard, buy the tickets, and you got your seats.
Just the second time this year the Rockies have kicked the baseball around 3 times in a game. 2-1. Both errors for Stewart on balls hit by Markham. And that's 3-1. So the counts run full. Markham will be in motion. Where's he going, George?
Not sure.
He's in a hurry.
Got the call. Well, they wear those radios. Everybody got the radio. He got the call. They had to head to the upper side over there.
Oh, he got the baseball.
How nice is that?
Special delivery.
Yeah, that's cool.
We got great ushers here, huh? kid's beaming. Here's the 3-2, ball 4. And now the bases are loaded again for Milwaukee. And Niger Morgan's coming up. Bob Apodaca's going out. Morgan is 2 for 2 in the game.
A lot of fans showing their disgust with the Rockies play in this ball game this inning. But, you know, the thing I hope fans understand, and it's hard, but guys aren't trying to make errors. Guys are not trying to fail. They are trying to do their jobs. But when they do, you know, hey, you deserve a few boo birds every now and then. Sometimes that'll get you fired up and get you going a little bit when the boo birds come out.
We have a topic for Toyota Talk. Listen carefully. Text Toyota followed by a space, and then your thoughts on. We're talking about Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak. Mark did a piece on that earlier. What is not just the one? What's maybe the 2 most unbreakable marks in baseball in your mind? Text that to 720-720. Of course, Toyota first. Strike to Niger Morgan. He had a swinging bunt in the first inning, then a line single to left in the 3rd. Cook trying to keep it a 1-0 affair. He's dealt with traffic every inning. Some of it not his fault. 3 errors behind him, and this should get him out of the inning. To Johnny Herrera, and Aaron Cook picks up Ian Stewart. It remains 1-0, middle of 4. In the first 4 innings, the Rockies left Dexter Fowler, Jason Giambi, Troy Tulowitzki trying to figure out Sean Markham here in the bottom half of inning number 4. AT&T trivia question. How many punch-outs did Joe DiMaggio have in 1941, the year he produced his 56-game hitting streak? Was it 66? Was it 13? Was it 102? Was it 27? Amazingly, he struck out only 13 times in 541 ABs. Back in 1941. That's ridiculous.
Only 5 strikeouts during that streak.
In fact, in his career, he had 361 home runs. He struck out only 369 times. The most he ever struck out in a season was 39 his rookie year. 369 strikeouts in 7,671 plate appearances.
By the way, Milwaukee's left 7 men on base, yet this is still just a 1-0 ball game. I mean, you're right smack in the middle of this game. It's longer innings due to the errors, the walks, I mean, things that are going on in this game that Sean Markham just getting more comfortable on the mound. Apply some pressure in some fashion.
Well, the Rockies are living dangerously. They have not played well on defense, which is very unusual, and it hasn't hurt them. Now, you know, we were talking about Ron Renicke's club having to take advantage of the bad play by the Rockies. They failed to do so. Now the Rockies have to get that second wind and say, hey, listen, we haven't played well so far. Let's take advantage of the fact that Milwaukee hasn't taken advantage of things.
Right. I mean, you have to. I mean, the Rockies left one guy on base in this game. And here you are at the bottom of the fourth inning.
Yeah, one out.
By the way,
base hit by Seth Smith in the second inning.
Had Dougie look something up for me. DiMaggio walked 790 times. Struck out to 369 you mentioned, but walked 790. Bruce Gower at Old Timers Day told a great story. He said he got to go to lunch with Marilyn Monroe and Joe. He said I shaved 4 times. So excited.
He shaved 4
times? I shaved 4 times, washed my hair, which is a flat top, so there wasn't a lot to wash. Made sure everything was ironed. This is Marilyn Monroe, man.
Joe made him that nervous?
Yeah. Sure he did to him, too.
3-2 on Dexter. And that's for, you know, Dex. Hey,
Dexter's fooled all of us.
All right. You know, 4's enough. Markham's been pitching very well. Let's not give him an opportunity to get an extra pitch. Jason Giambi coming up. There's you. Our Geico quote of the day. If a guy hits 300 every year, what does he have to look forward to? I always tried to stay around 190 with 3 or 4 RBIs. And I tried to get them all in September. That way I always had something to talk about during the winter. It's a great philosophy. I don't know why more guys don't try to adopt that philosophy, George.
Well, there's a lot of things you did that a lot of guys haven't tried yet. Consistently, I'll put it that way. Maybe it happened to him once or twice.
Giambi 5 for 11 with a couple of home runs against Markham.
You know, I find this pretty interesting, Drew. I was watching Josh Wilson at shortstop. Now they've got the shift on for Giambi. And I don't know what he was thinking about, but he gave a sign of like who was going to cover the bag to Ricky Weeks on a ground ball. He probably won't do it this time. Oh, he looked over at him. I'm like, are you kidding me? There's only one guy going to cover second on a ground ball. It's you.
It's almost out of habit, I guess, but you're right. He did it again to Ricky.
Ricky's like, dude, you don't have to keep doing it because it's an open, closed mouth thing.
I think the mouth's closed here. Watch. Let's see if we can get him.
Oh, that's funny.
Ricky'd have to be Usain Bolt, George, to get over there and cover the bag.
Well, by the time he steps, he's raises his hands up, starting to take off run.
There's the alignment.
Ricky, let's say, I'm not coming. You got it. Just get it straightened out right now.
Here's the 1-1. And that's called a strike. And Giambi thought he had a strike call on him in his pinch hitting at bat last night that was low. See on the Ford strike zone, it was there. 1-2. Hitters are typically creatures of habit. Giambi's still in the back of the box, even though you have a soft tosser on the hill. Watching Cargo earlier, he's in the same spot he typically is in the box. Giambi has that back foot on the back line. Did you notice as a pitcher, George, when a guy maybe moved a little bit in the box?
Yeah, you said that. I was sitting there trying to think of a guy, and I called him Fred Astaire because it was like he shuffled his feet a lot. He'd start back, he'd come forward, he would come towards you on the mound. He rotated around a lot. And it used to drive you crazy because it was like, okay, breaking ball count. He'd stay way off the plate and he'd kind of scoot in and then he'd go forward too. I'll try to think of his name here in a minute or two. But I took notice to where guys set. The biggest thing I watched was the front foot. I wanted to see where the front foot went as a pitcher. If it came right to me, did he dive or did he pull off? That's what I wanted to see. And then you would pitch accordingly. If a guy's pulling off the ball, you run a sinker away from him. You don't want to come inside because he's generating a lot of power pulling off. If he's coming right at you, you got to have to mix your pitches a little bit. If he's diving, then you can jam him with something.
2-2. Deck's not going, and Giambi just got a piece of that. He must have contacted that a foot out in front of his body, out in front of the plate.
Very high pitch, though. It's just one of those late little curveballs. You see what he does? When you get a hitter that far out in front, you eliminate their power. All they're doing is looking for contact. You just eliminate all their power.
When you came in, whether it was a slider, came in knowing that if the ball is put in play, it's going to be turned on and maybe hit hard, but it's going to be foul. You could care less because you knew that going in, right? It's a hard foul ball.
That's what I'm trying to get.
Right?
You're going to swing and miss it, or you're going to hit somebody in the crowd. Plain and simple. You know, I always like to come in with a breaking ball because it was borne in on the hitter, so it was harder to keep that ball in fair territory versus a four-seam fastball or two-seam. They can still get enough inside out to keep it out in fair territory. But if that ball's breaking into your bat, it's harder to do that.
Two and two, nobody out. Rockies trailing 1-0. Dexter Fowler at first. 3-2. You would assume that Dexter will take off here. Stay out of the double play. You have to think backwards with this guy, even if you're in what is typically a fastball count. That doesn't mean a thing to Sean Markham. There goes Fowler, ball 4. Dexter would have beat the throw anyhow. First and second, back-to-back walks. And for the first time in the ball game, the Rockies have 2 on. Nobody out, and here comes Troy Tulowitzki. So can the Rockies take advantage of their first threat?
Yeah, you know, I wondered a little bit on the pitch. Dexter goes in. Somebody must have yelled because it looked like he started to coach the last 8 or 9 steps. But I wondered where the pitch was because I saw the catcher come up, Contreras, on the pitch to get in a throwing position. Did he take it away from the umpire? Umpires have complained a lot about catchers taking pitches away.
Tulowitzki struck out swinging his first time. Breaking ball, ball 1. George, you got a cigarette boat at second and a tugboat at first. 1-0 on Tulowitzki.
You know, the little head jerk at the end that Markham has. It's like he gets right out here on that curveball and he throws his front side and his head's forward at such a fast pace that you think he's getting ready to just throw the living heck out of the baseball, and he just spins that little thing up there.
One and one. Shows fastball in. 2-1. And that's, I think, all that was, George, a show-me pitch. I don't think he's going to throw Tulowitzki a heater. Troy 1 for 3 lifetime against Markham. High fly ball to deep left field. Coxe on the edge of the track is going to make the catch, and Fowler, though he did tag up, can't move up. 1 out. Tulowitzki just got under it a smidgen. Seth Smith waiting at the plate. The conference over between George Gutaris and Sean Markham.
Check out Power Tickets, which include $10 to $15 of concession credit. Available in midfield box or outfield club selection. Go to ColoradoRockies.com. Go to your computer seats, pick it out, and come buy some concession stuff.
You all right?
Yeah, it's great. You ever tried it? You haven't tried it yet?
Haven't tried that yet, no. Smith misses 0-1. Two-strike count on Smith. Smith hitting .309 with runners in scoring position this year. I'm telling you, with this guy, George, the fastball's a waste pitch. He doesn't throw it for a strike.
He doesn't want to. If you hit his fastball, it's going to typically be on the ground because it's something sinking and running away from you off of the plate. It's not. If he makes a mistake with it, it's going to be, hit hard if it's on the inner half of the plate.
Line drive off of Weeks' glove. Fowler will come around third and tie up the ball game. Seth Smith with a base hit. It's 1-1.
A few Rockies fans in the dugout wake up a little bit. Got some results here after a couple of hits. You come up with a run. The ball was tailing away from Weeks. I mean, he jabbed at it, but that ball was scalded right at him. And it looked like either went through the glove or off the glove into the outfield. And when he gets that far away, the race is on. Dexter's going to win it. There's one way to vindicate the errors that Ian Stewart had in the last inning. Created a lot of pitches for Aaron Cook. Base hit here with a runner in scoring position.
Stewart struck out his first time. 2 walks and now base hit in the inning. The Rockies have 2 hits. Smith has them both. On the inside corner for a strike. Giambi at second, Smith at first. This is only the second time Markham's been on the rubber at Coors Field. He pitched an inning here a couple years ago. Gave up a couple of runs. This is his first start here. Well, that's a stat you want to turn around. Two and one. Eliezer Alfonso is on deck. If the Rockies are to make a run, it begins here at Coors Field. This is game 4 of an 8-game homestand. The Braves in for 4 beginning tomorrow. Rockies so far this year just 24-23 at Coors Field. On the outside corner. NL West standings. The Rockies failed to take advantage of a giant loss last night. So they're still 8.5 back. 5 behind Arizona. And another strikeout for Stewart. 4th strikeout of the ball game from Markham. I'll bring up Eliezer Alfonso. He lined to third his first time. He got off some pretty good swings. He hit a ball up on the concourse that was just foul. Out by a couple of feet. Had everybody doing the Carlton Fisk in the stands.
Thing landed on the concourse. Ball's crushed.
Big league hitters hate facing guys like this. And it's a rollover ground ball to Wilson. And was he out? Ooh, Smith was almost there. Nearly beat the throw. Did he get hurt now sliding into second? He appears to be all right. Seth almost beat that throw by Wilson. Rockies get the equalizer. It's 1-1 as we go to the 5th.
Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota moving forward. By the Colorado Lottery, don't forget to play. And by Comcast, advertise your business locally on the network's People Watch. Go to ComcastSpotlight.com.
1-1 baseball game at Coors Field, top of 5. Mark Kotze, Prince Fielder, Ricky Weeks. 3-4-5 for the Brewers against Aaron Cook, who's looking for a low pitch, low drama inning. The Brewers have stranded 7 in the first 4 innings. This replay is brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. Well, Aaron Cook got out of a bases loaded jam, reducing a force out off the bat of Ricky Weeks, and then he got out of a bases loaded jam on a ground ball by Niger Morgan to Johnny Herrera. Now through the end of the month, you can replay every non-winning scratch ticket and a second chance drawing at ColoradoLottery.com. Kotze, ground ball to first and a strikeout. The only strikeout of the afternoon for the 31-year-old Aaron Cook, a native of Hamilton, Ohio. And that's in there for a strike. Same hometown as his skipper. Thing is, Aaron went to Hamilton High and Jim Tracy went to Baden High School. Heard those two guys quibble over where Tracy's actually from. Is it Fairfield, Ohio? pickup. Aaron, a little shot put over to Giambi. He wasn't even in the bag yet. A lot of good athletes come out of that Hamilton area, about a half hour outside of Cincinnati. So Fielder coming up with 1 out. Prince walked in the third. He popped up his first time. Prince's on base percentage of .421, second in the league to Joey Votto. Todd is third at .401. Todd's also third in hitting right now after a couple of hits last night. Melton sitting this one out.
4 RBIs the last 2 nights too.
Todd's buddy Lance Berkman fourth in the league in on base percentage, and then Jose Reyes at .398. And the Mets believe that Reyes will be back at play the first part of the week, coming off the disabled list. You know, there's 2 times a year as a baseball fan that you, in the old days, checking the wire, the journalism business, when there was an AP, you check the AP wire. Now obviously you're on the internet all the time. The hot stove league in the winter, where you see a lot of player movement, and then right before the trade deadline in July, and we're getting close to that non-waiver trade deadline, the end of July. 3-1 on Fielder. I mentioned that because the Mets have some pieces that could potentially move. They've already moved K-Rod here to Milwaukee. 1 out walk to Fielder, and that'll bring up Ricky Weeks. Let's take a look at our CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Aaron Cook at 91. Sean Markham tops out at 87. Just goes to show you, you don't have to be a mid-90s guy to get outs.
No, you sure don't. You get a lot of ground ball outs, make pitches. He kind of made his own bed in the last inning with a couple of leadoff walks.
Third walk allowed by Cook. Weeks a double down the left field line, a hard ground ball, and the force out to short. Weeks has scored 69 runs, which leads the National League. Carlos Gonzalez leads the Rockies. He has scored 57 runs despite missing some time. Ricky went to Southern University. His brother Jamil was a first-round pick out of the University of Miami. He's playing second base for Oakland. It's one of the reasons Oakland felt like Mark Ellis was expendable. Jamil went and watched his big brother play in the All-Star game in Phoenix. On the ground, a third, non-throw. Diving attempt by Stewart, first and second. Here's George Gutaris fouling it off. Gutaris has hit it on the ground twice. That would work well here.
Yeah, the hard sinker ways bailed Cook out of some innings, one created by himself, and then the other, a couple of errors made that he had to battle through it. He was able to do that and get out of the inning. Milwaukee right now has left 7 men on base. Matt Belisle starting to get loose. Cook's pitch count, number 88 coming.
Lifted to left center field and deep. Gonzalez can't get it. It's off the wall. 1 run is scored. Weeks will get a green light. Tulowitzki with a good throw has a chance at him, and now Weeks in a rundown. And Cook at the plate will tag out Ricky Weeks. Getting all the way around to third is Kataris. So Weeks did a good job staying in the rundown long enough. 1 run comes around on the Kataris double, and it is 2-1 Milwaukee. And finally, the Brewers making Aaron Cook pay for all the traffic.
Yeah, absolutely, Drew. You're 100% correct on that. I mean, here is the base hit out in the left center field, out of the way of in the reach of Gonzalez. Now they're holding Weeks up. They have got him stopped at third base. I think that's the one thing. He ran through the stop sign of Ed Cedar, and then now all of a sudden, they get that rundown. He comes into home plate trying to come in hard to Aaron Cook, maybe bobble the ball. But what did happen? With 2 outs, you have a runner at third base.
You know, a lot of you keep a book at home. 7-6-2-5-1 on the put out of Weeks. 7-6-2-5-1. I know that's the first time you've written that down this year. Cook needs to get McGee, keep it a 1-run game. Top of inning number 5. 10 base runners. Of course, a couple of those not the fault of Aaron Cook, and here comes the 3rd run. McGee with his 2nd RBI of the day. He has 38 on the season, and Milwaukee now with a 3-1 lead.
Well, Ed Rapawala, we've lost one. Brian Lenore on Thursday now with a bad back, and now Eddie took off running, got a little bit of cramp working on the hamstring.
I want to point out something. There were 2 outs, so there's a possibility that Kataris would have scored anyhow. But because Weeks was able to stay in that rundown long enough to allow Kataris to get to third a moment ago, that's down the line, a fair ball. McGee's going to go to third, and he'll stop there. To finish the point, George, you had a line drive base hit to one of the best arms in the game. Kataris, even with 2 outs, if he's on second base, may not have scored on that base hit.
You're absolutely right. Well, Jim Tracy's looking around there, looking down to make sure that Matt Belisle's ready to go before Trace headed out. Try to get out of this jam, 2nd and 3rd.
Well, you have the pitcher up, so you probably allow Cook to face him.
You'd like for it to. I mean, again, this is a guy that swings it pretty good. Hard sinker in that he just pulls right down the line. Ian Stewart was playing about even with the bag when it's shot by.
Maybe not. You're going to get a double switch.
90 pitches. Cook would have to lead the ball game. 8 hits, 3 runs given up. Still responsible for the other base runners at 2nd and 3rd.
Eddie Rapawala now is going to go over and get some attention from Keith Duggar, the Rockies' outstanding head trainer. And the Rockies are going to make a move. Even with Markham coming up, Tracy's going to remove Aaron Cook. 3-1 Brewers. They've out-hit the Rockies 8-2. Marco, clutch plays of the week. Ubaldo Jimenez got his 5th victory the other day, leading things off in the second half. He got a lot of help from Ryan Spilborghs. A 4-hit, 4 RBI ball game for Spilly. And then Nicasio with a great effort on Friday. Enough of a slider to keep Milwaukee off balance, and he had a great fastball again. For a job done right at a price that's right. Take it to AMCO, AA, MCO. So the double switch, Ian Stewart comes out of the ballgame. Ty Wigginton will hit in the pitcher spot. He'll bat second next inning, and Matt Belisle will come on. And his first subject will be Sean Markham. Markham has hit the ball twice to the now departed Ian Stewart. And Ian, who normally has great hands, made 2 errors. One trying to make a bare hand play, and the other on a routine ground ball. He bobbled a couple of times. Jim Tracy must have jinxed him earlier, because Trace was bragging on Stewart. He's made so many good plays already in this series. He said he's the best third baseman I've seen or managed since he had Adrian Beltre, who may be the best in the business. Of course, he had him in Los Angeles. Belisle gets Markham. 2 runs for the Brewers in the inning. They lead at 3-1. At 3-1. Ricky Weeks has been in the middle of things offensively. The Rockies have only 2 hits against Sean Markham. They'll have Jonathan Herrera, Ty Wigginton, and then Carlos Gonzalez to face Markham. So Aaron Cook gone after 4 2/3. He gives up 3 runs. All of them earned on 8 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 1. Numbers on Markham so far in the ball game. Rockies got their run last inning after Markham walked Fowler and Giambi back-to-back. Tulowitzki hit one to the track and left. Smith an RBI single. Rockies had an opportunity to do more damage, but Stewart struck out swinging, and Alfonso hit into a force out. On the corner, 1-1 on Johnny Herrera. Johnny waits, hits it up the middle. Josh Wilson. Good play by Wilson, 1 out. So Wigginton will get his first at bat since Friday night. He had yesterday off, and he had the first portion of this afternoon off.
Yeah, he's put up pretty good numbers. When you looked at his numbers a year ago, 22 and 75, it's playing every day. For him to have the chance to have those kind of numbers, he's got to play every day for a majority of the ball games, and whether it's in left, second, or wherever it is, he's got to be in the lineup, third base, and to see 1337 and hitting 250. I mean, it's just, you know, you double it up, see what you come up with.
And Wigginton, an inside-out swing. They had the shift on. You don't normally see that for a right-handed batter. Ricky Weeks was right behind the bag at second.
Well, the only guys you see that on a little bit, maybe McGuire, maybe a Sammy Sosa, but guys playing at this stage, you don't see it at all. I mean, that's a fastball. They wanted outside, ran back. He just inside out at the baseball. Nice job. Stiff front side, dropped that elbow in tight, took advantage of the hole.
George, that's a great description. I mean, he took a ball on the inside corner and said, you know what, if they're going to give me 90 feet on the right side, I'm going to use it.
Yeah, he did.
So Wigginton at first, 1 out, and here's Cargo. A line drive to right and a ground ball to second. Trying to get his timing back after sitting out the better part of a week. See, those are the situations you worry about, George, more than, you know, a ball that he contacts. It's the swings and misses when you're concerned about the wrist.
Non-contact swing because there's no force going against it. So you're completely all the way over and then you're rolling it.
Again, it's that bottom hand, that right wrist. Said earlier, hitters really don't like to face guys that throw below the radar. They'd rather face 95 any day of the week.
No guesswork.
Cargo hits it high in the air to right field. Corey Hart waiting, and that'll be the second out. He got under it a smidgen.
That ball fooled me off the bat.
Yeah.
I thought it did. You know, and off the bat, you could tell. Replay it in your mind as a player, and you can tell by the sound that wasn't a solid sound. That was off the end of the bat or maybe a little bit down on the handle.
So Hart makes the catch, 2 outs. Fowler up. Today's Road Ahead brought to you by E470. Find E470 on Facebook and Twitter for details on how to win free tolls. The Braves are in for 4, and then it's off to Arizona to begin a West Coast swing for the Rockies. And if you're wondering about that vaunted Braves pitching staff and which 4 the Rockies will face, I'll tell you in a moment. That's outside ball 1. Hamill and Derek Lowe on Monday. Tuesday, Ubaldo and Brandon Beachy, who's 3-1 and a 321. Juan Nicasio, Tim Hudson Wednesday. Thursday afternoon, it's Jolie Chassin and Tommy Hanson. So the Rockies do miss Jair Jurgens.
And that's a good thing.
They will not complain.
Leading the National League in ERA, close to the top in wins.
Though the Rockies typically hit Jurgens well. Here's the 1-0. And a great bunt by Dexter.
How about that?
That was a great play by Sean Markham. He slid, turned, and from his knees, he throws out Fowler.
See some athleticism. He just watched it right there. Act like he does it all the time when he flips this thing. How about that play?
Today's Save of the Week brought to you by the region's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, who remind you that lowering your energy bills can be as easy as flipping a switch. Visit togetherwesave.com.
Tulowitzki does this about twice a week. He's amazing.
Matt Belisle will face Corey Hart here in the 6th inning. Rockies trailing 3-1. Belisle got the final out for Aaron Cook in the 5th inning. Again, Cook went 4 2/3, 3 runs, 8 hits, 3 walks, and a strikeout.
The 1 inning came unfolded on him in the 5th. It was kind of hit them where they ain't. Right down the line, a couple of bloop hits, and then a hard hit ball to left center field.
2-1. Milwaukee started the day a half game behind St. Louis in that crazy NL Central. Base hit to left. Pirates are a game back. Cincinnati's 4 back.
How about this play by Sean Markham? Off the mound, slid to stop himself, grabbed the baseball, yet had the arm strength underhanded to leave the ground and make a snap throw. You'll see that again later on, I guarantee you. It'll make a few highlight shows.
One of the things scouts do when looking at amateur pitching prospects, it's not just the stuff they have, arm speed, what kind of fastball. Nigel Morgan lays down a block. Wigginton makes a good play. Giambi stayed on the bag. Belisle scooted over to cover third base. Hits up play by Belisle, and that supports the point I'm about to make, George. You know this to be true. It's not just about what a pitcher does when he releases the ball. It's how athletic is he? How does he
a lot of
field
amateur
the
guys do,
baseball?
quite honestly. They want to know, what other sports do you play? And they'll ask you that your junior year. Do you play basketball? Oh, okay. I mean, going through the draft with Parker, we had 6 or 7 amateur scouts at basketball games. They want to come watch you play different sports. They want to see how you handle situations, your toughness.
And scored a sacrifice for Nigel Morgan. Kotze's 0 for 3 at the plate. Fastball away, ball 1. But it's important. I mean, if you can field your position and field it well.
It's kind of like swinging the bat. Late in the game, you might have a bunch situation, make a play, swing the bat, do the different things. All the little things end up to wins.
Your hitting coaches tell a batter at the plate, be athletic at the plate. Trying to simplify things. Well, you hear pitching coaches, heard Bob Apodaca during spring training tell his guys, hey, be an athlete on the hill. Toyota talk going by. Some folks think Pete Rose's record will never go down. I don't know, because I'll tell you a guy that would have beaten Pete Rose's record, and another guy probably like him at some point in time will come along, and that's Ichiro. Had Ichiro started his career here in the United States, I believe Ichiro could have taken down 4,256. And if you look at his hits right now, he's, in terms of professional hits, he's closing in on 3,300. He had almost 1,300 in Japan before he came over, and he's over 2,000 here in the United States. That's a base hit to center field. And here comes Corey Hart. Here's the throw by Dexter. Not in time. It is 4-1 Milwaukee. Mark Kotze with his 20th RBI.
Let's try to look on this pitch, see where it is. Fastball they're trying to bring to the inner half of the plate. Belisle elevated and had some late fade and tail to it. And when that happened, it put it in more of a hitting zone. for Kotze. Very good hitter still. Can swing the bat and drive in runs. That's why his position was Braun out in the 3-hole spot. They could have used Weeks there and maybe put Kotze down below. Prince Fielder will get a shot now with 1 out against Matt Belisle.
One and 0 on Fielder. Rockies have not had a clean inning yet. It's been like I-25 and 445 today for the Brewers. They left a man on in the first. They got a run in the second. Left the bases loaded in the third. Left the bases loaded in the fourth. Scored 2 last inning and left 2 on. And they already have a run across here in the sixth. 4 runs, 10 hits. This is a double play ball. Tulowitzki will take it himself. Kotze an RBI single. 4-1 Milwaukee, middle of 6. Rockies need to get untracked offensively. Customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets. Do it today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Let's check in with Mark Stout.
All right, guys. Ty Wigginton had a hit today to give the Rockies 3 hits. If you look at their low hit game of the year, it came against the Milwaukee Brewers. That was on May 22nd when Ubaldo Jimenez faced Randy Wolf. Ironic that Wigginton would get the hit. We talked to Jim Tracy today and said with Ian Stewart in the lineup, he said, no, we're going to figure out ways to get Ty Wigginton into this lineup. And as you saw, he got a hit here this afternoon. Drew, George?
All right, Mark, Giambi, Tulowitzki, Smith. High drive, deep right field, and she's gone over tank. Wow. Number 10 for Giambi. The third he's hit off Markham in his career. That was a bomb. The big man reaches the third deck.
You can tell, too. Watch when he hits this ball. Because Giambi, true home run hitter, doesn't do this much. Watch that bat. Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah, you want to watch that one. You really want to watch it.
Tell you what, looked like a little frustration came out that swing, too.
Well, you look right in there, but that wasn't just 1 row up. That was like 7 rows up into that one tank.
Here's Tulowitzki. 4-2 after that home run.
Those kind of home runs, they get talked about for a while.
They should count twice. 32nd upper deck shot.
in the history of Coors Field. Elton giving a bear hug to his buddy Giambi.
See the kid in the red shirt, George?
Well, which red shirt? That guy right there?
Yeah,
that one right there?
Yeah, with his
He
dad.
caught it.
He didn't think he was getting a hard ball when he came to the stadium tonight.
Dad, why would you sit all the way up here? Hey, these are really good seats. First two, yeah, I can't even see anything. Oh, this is really, really good seat. Get a good shot of this pitch. It just stayed up in the strike zone. Giambi, stiff front side, working that leverage against it. You talk about full extension and swinging. Wow. You hit over 400 of those home runs. Guess what? You know how when you hit them like that, they go a long way. There's Sean Markham being checked out by the trainer right now.
Giambi's at 4 1/4, 425. He's one short of Hall of Famer Billy Williams. Billy Williams has a statue outside of Wrigley Field. That's how good he was.
So I think they're going to have
a helmet on.
I think they're going to have him throw 1 or 2 pitches here. They're telling him to be smart. I mean, that trainer's right up on him. Where owners and general managers just cringe. You got somebody like Markham, 7-3 record, leading in a game here. You're trying to contend in the Central.
He's not right. He's coming
done.
out.
He's done. Well, Rick Granite said, you know what? You're not even going to do it. Get off the mound. Why even take the chance? Just don't do it. Find out here in a few minutes who it's going to be, though.
Markham's got to walk off. 6+. 2 runs on 4 hits. Big fly from the big man. Hit a moonshot. And you wonder, how far did it travel? We wonder also. It's brought to you by AAA Travel. Relax, we take care of you. Giambi taking care of that baseball. 452 feet. Again, the 32nd baseball ever to land in the upper deck.
You know, I started wondering about something. You know, Markham made that great play to end the inning, and he went back out, and the home run, maybe that play throwing the baseball may have straightened something out of there.
Could be. Troy Hawkins is on the mound. Troy's has now pitched in 3 of the 4 ball games in this series. Giambi, as I mentioned, One away from tying Billy Williams for 43rd on the all-time list. Next up will be Mike Piazza. Williams in the Hall of Fame. Piazza will be in the Hall of Fame. Pujols will be in the Hall of Fame. Ripken in the Hall of Fame. A little pony, Carlos Gonzalez going over to Giambi saying, man, that was hit pretty far. 30 appearances now for the Troy Hawkins. Described him accurately last night, George. He's still got a good arm, and he'll still run the fastball 92 to 94.
Oh, yeah.
You don't see the 97s, 98s that you used to see, but still an effective setup man.
Very good setup man. He can still help a lot of ball clubs. 90, 94 miles an hour. He uses cutter. Throws strikes. Handles disappointments as well as he does the good side of things. He rubs off his back pretty good. Be out there the next day as he is here. The other night, 1 inning, 4 hits, a run. Last night got beat up a little bit in the ball game. He was back out again.
He's been around a while. He's a professional, a good man. Rockies Weekly will come your way with Jim Tracy after the ball game. Troy Tulowitzki's All-Star experience and some of the greatest moments involving Colorado Rockies in the Midsummer Classic. That much more with Jim Tracy. Rockies Weekly today after the ball game. So Hawkins inherits a 2-0 count on Tulowitzki. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And it's 3-0. Now, on one hand, from a sportsmanship standpoint, you obviously hope Markham's okay. From a competitive standpoint, you're thrilled he's out of the ball game if you're a Rocky. Rockies managed only 4 hits against Markham. Strike 2. Fastball at 95. And that misses away. So Tulowitzki walks. And that'll bring up Seth Smith. We talked a lot about the controversial call Corey Blazer made last night. Chris Ionnet applying the tag. George touched on this in the open. Great throw by Dexter Fowler. A nice pickup by Ionetta. And the tag applied. Clearly, Corey Hart was out. Obviously, Corey Blazer, who was, I think, in pretty good position, didn't see it that way.
No, he didn't.
Umpires have a really difficult job. This is not, I'm not trying to be an apologist for Corey Blazer for umpires, but I will tell you this. The first thing they do whenever there's a controversial call at all, when they get inside the umpire locker room, they look at the video immediately. I mean, before they take off any sort of gear. And I know that upset Corey Blazer quite a bit. They try to get every call right. It's impossible. Listen, nobody hits 1,000. You don't field 1,000.
And I want to say this too.
These guys are professional. They're the best at their craft. They're going to miss some. Unfortunately, Blazer missed one last night.
Well, and I'm going to say this too. He doesn't feel bad because he grew up in Colorado, because he went to Colorado State. That doesn't make him feel bad. He wants to be a big league regular umpire. He feels bad because it could have been Boston Yankees, could have been anybody. He missed the call. This is why he spends as much time as he has at the minor league level to get here on a permanent basis, and not to make those mistakes he made last night.
And he has worked primarily a big league schedule this year, to his credit. Here's the 0-2 on Smith, and a little comebacker, and there's one on the first, safe there. But I point that out, George, because sometimes, you know, I don't know if fans realize how much these umpires care about getting absolutely every call right, and do they just, after the game, dismiss it and move on? They don't. They don't at all. And every single ball strike call is videotaped and reviewed, and they get graded on it every single ball game when they're working the plate.
Well, I'm sure he's a little hesitant today to come out and go to third base. You know, when they announced the umpires for today's ball game, as it comes over to the PA system, you know, there's a lot of fans who haven't forgot last night.
Here's Spilborgh's hitting in the pitcher's spot. This is the spot originally occupied by Ian Stewart. Rafael Betancourt tossing. Smith at first. And Spilborghs hits it in the air to Hart. 2 outs. Eliezer Alfonso will approach.
Don't forget about Dollar Hot Dog Night. It's coming up. That's right. When the Atlanta Braves are in town, the first 10,000 to the game on Tuesday is going to receive a $1 hot dog coupon sponsored by Hebrew. So make sure you come out to the ballpark and be one of those first 10,000 through the gates.
Alfonso, a line out and a ground out. Belisle goes an inning and a third and gives up a run. Two and one. Smith at first base with 2 gone. Three and 2. Hawkins is from Gary, Indiana. Grew up in Gary, makes his home now in Texas and has for a while. Perfect frame to pitch. 6'5" and about 220 pounds or so. Here's the 3-2, and it's a ground ball through the middle of the diamond, a base hit. Smith, who was moving obviously on the 3-2 pitch, will go first to third. And Alfonso has his second hit as a Rocky. And That will allow Johnny Herrera to come up.
And I got LaTroy Hawkins got himself in trouble working behind the counts versus being aggressive at the hitters. Another four-seam fastball, and he's throwing it right down the middle of the plate. Making things a little bit easier for Alfonso to swing the bat. Now Johnny's got a chance to pull this game a little bit closer with a base hit.
Now, what the Rockies have a chance to do, George, is what the Brewers did the Rockies last night. The Rockies had the 3-0 lead. They had the 6-5 lead late, and the Brewers stole a baseball game from the Rockies. The Brewers have been in control of this game throughout.
They sure did. And it all started with Markham as a pitcher, and then now all of a sudden LaTroy trying to finish this thing off.
And Johnny pops this up, and it is in foul ground. And McGee runs into the shortstop, Wilson, and drops the baseball.
And I think kind of the other way around, Drew. I think McGee had the baseball and was going to have it into his glove, and the shortstop ran under him. As he looked back over his shoulder into the gray skies, as he's going after this ball, McGee's staring right at it. Now nobody's calling for it. Jack Wilson ran underneath him with his hand backhand, or excuse me, Josh Wilson trying to get this baseball and caused it to pop out of the glove of McGee. That would have been a nice play.
And that's a really interesting call. One, quite honestly, I don't agree with, but they've given an error to Wilson.
Really?
Wilson's running over there full tilt. I don't know how you can give him an error on that. Herrera hits it on the ground to Weeks. Hawkins works out of the first and third situation. Rockies get a run in the sixth on the Titanic home run by Jason Giambi. Seth Smith with a base hit off the glove of Ricky Weeks, his second of the ball game. That drove home Dexter Fowler, who had walked. It was the Rockies' first run. In the fifth inning, George Gutierrez, an opposite field double off of Aaron Cook. That brought home Prince Fielder. Ricky Weeks ended up in a rundown. And then the next hitter was Casey McGee. He singled, and that brought home Gutierrez. Sixth inning. Another run from Milwaukee. The Rockies would get one back on the Jason Giambi home run to the upper deck in right field. 32nd such home run in the history of Coors Field. 425th for Giambi in his career. So you're up to date. There's the Cooney Lexus look back. Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address. Top of the seventh inning, Rafael Betancourt try to get the Rockies back to the dugout quickly.
Betancourt's numbers on the year, making his 41st appearance. Pitched last night, did a nice job. Just 3 pitches, but worked out of a jam last night. Here he is in a 2-run ball game in the top of the seventh inning with the Brewers and Ricky Weeks coming to the plate.
The line on Sean Markham, by the way, 6+, 2 runs, 4 hits. He walked 3, struck out 4. That walk to Tulowitzki, if you do score with us at home, is charged to Markham, because Hawkins inherited a 2-0 count. Weeks, Gutaris, and McGee. Oh, and 1. Well, according to people who are close to the Brewers, Ricky Weeks is everything you want in a player on and off the field. A quiet leader in the clubhouse. Handles himself with the media exceptionally well. Obviously, he gives his all out on the field. And he's got a lot of talent to boot. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Did he go? Nope.
Betancourt's season started off with a bang. 2.19 ERA. It struggled a little bit in the month of June and July trying to right the ship. It started last night with working the 1 inning and doing a good job of it.
Speaking of long home runs, by the way, Jim Thome, who's from the same era as Jason Giambi. I mean, he could sit back and talk and know all about great beards and that sort of thing. He hit his 596 today, farthest home run ever hit at Target Field. Yeah, you know what? This
sounded that way, didn't it?
It did.
Big swing. It didn't go anywhere.
It had that loud sound, but it was just a routine fly ball to left. Weeks retired. That'll bring up Gutaris. Windshield damage, call Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, online at safelite.com. Oh, 2. That misses away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. High fastball. And now the count runs full. 1 out in the 7th inning. The Rockies trailing 4-2.
Giants at Petco leading 2-1 in the 6th inning. Arizona in the 6th inning ahead of the Dodgers down in Phoenix 2-0. Fly ball to right. Now Casey McGee, who's had a tough season, has had a good day at Coors Field this afternoon. A sac fly in the 2nd, a single in the 4th, and an RBI single in the 5th. He dragged a .221 batting average into the ball game today. Previous 2 years he hit .291 combined. So he was 70 points beneath that standard. In front of the slider. One ball and 2 strikes. Rockies in the bottom of the 7th inning will have Wigginton, Gonzalez, and Fowler. Betancourt strikes out McGee. A 1-2-3 inning, the first of the day for Colorado. Middle of 7th, the Rockies trailing the Milwaukee Brewers 4-2. We'll stick around for a moment for God Bless America, Master Sergeant Jeff Hatfield.
Please rise as we honor our great country by the performance of God Bless America. Performing God Bless America today, representing the United States Air Force Academy Band, is Master Sergeant Jeffrey Hatfield. Please welcome Master Sergeant Hatfield and join him by singing along to God Bless America.
cam. Sean Markham making a great play on the bunt for a hit attempt by Dexter Fowler. Coors Light Freeze Cam, the world's most refreshing beer. Takashi Saito is now in. It'll be Wigginton, Gonzalez, and Fowler. Rockies saw Saito 2 nights ago, and they got a run and 3 hits off of him in 1 inning of work. The word on Markham, all things considered from Milwaukee's standpoint, is good. He left with a strained neck, so it's not an elbow, not a shoulder.
Great. Yeah, that's wonderful for them. He didn't see that. He did not. He did not. I don't think he saw the ball.
It's unusual. Alfonso Marquez calls it a strike. Usually, if the ball's not handled by the catcher, watch this.
It's right down the chute. Something
He got
happened there.
He got crossed up.
Nobody out. I don't know why they're using a second sign or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I can't answer
Ain't
that.
nobody out there. I mean, come on.
But I can guarantee you that
Contreras didn't like it, whatever it was. It was like, whoa. Well, see, they're doing a lot of touches versus signs. Maybe they got the touch part messed up. Obviously, they did.
Slider away. 1-2 on Wigginton. He came in a double switch in the 5th inning and had a single in his first at bat.
Follow the Rockies on MLB.com at BAT 2011 app, featuring highlights and more. Text at BAT to 31826.
This ball is hit center field. Major Morgan will make the play. 1 out. Well, the Rockies since 2007 have the 2nd best winning percentage in the National League. They've played the second halves at a .557 clip. They're going to play at an even higher level in the second half of 2011 to get where they want to be, and that's the postseason. 66 games remaining after today. That winning percentage since 07, 2nd best in the league to Philadelphia. Here's Cargo. Slider dropped in on the outside corner. It's 0-1. May have been a little off the plate. Sun off the neck. That's one way to do it. One and two. You were just down in Orlando, George. Those things sell like hotcakes down there.
I would think so. All the Little League ballparks, the dust, the heat, humidity, fill them up with water, spray you every now and then.
Got to bring a second set of batteries because
Well,
that
you
thing's
know
on
what?
all day.
I'll tell you what, if you're not accustomed to the humidity and the heat mixed together, you're in trouble. Because when you go to Orlando, you go to Oklahoma, you go into the New Orleans area during the summertime, it will eat you up.
Two and two on Gonzalez. 1 out in the 7th inning. And a line drive to center field's got to get down and won't. It's Cargo's fault, George. He hit it too hard.
Yeah, you just start to look at everything. He should be back up again in the 9th inning. Hopefully there's a little traffic on there and they take advantage of it. Axford picked up the save yesterday. Either going to get him or Frankie, right?
What's going on here?
I'm not sure. Translator's coming out, though. Alfonso Marquez is looking around like there's a whole lot of people around here. Yeah, I wonder if somebody's shining something on Saito because he keeps pointing up above the dugout area.
There's still some orange up there in the third deck you need to hit.
We have a retraction, George. Remember the error that was given to Josh Wilson for
they took it
running
off.
hard and inadvertently running into McGee? They've taken that error away, and that's the right call. Want to know on Dexter Fowler. Dex had a double down the left field line his first at bat, hitting right-handed. He's 0 for 7 since then, but he has scored 4 runs. He's walked a couple times. And something's bothering Saito. And George, maybe it's what you were guessing a moment ago.
They're going to look
speculating
for him.
about
They're hunting for it.
It's up somebody's flashing something, or
it's right behind the dugout. Here's the pitch to Dexter Fowler. As soon as you released it right here.
It's weird because it's I don't know if it was somebody yelling or what, because his attention was on the pitch, and then all of a sudden he turned. It was a couple seconds after he delivered the pitch. This is 2-0. Two and two on Fowler. Lindstrom and brothers continue to throw in the Rockies bullpen. Aaron Cook, Sean Markham, the original starters. Markham on the plus side. Cook is on the wrong side of things. And a strikeout of Fowler. Saito works a 1-2-3, 7th inning. Whatever was bothering him didn't affect him that much. We'll go to the 8th, 4-2. Efficiency inning. There's been but one for the Rockies. It was delivered last inning by Rafael Betancourt, the only 1-2-3 inning of the day. You got Ricky Weeks on a fly ball to left field, George Kataris on a fly ball to right field, and then he struck out Casey McGee on high cheese. That's brought to you by Excel Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Rex Brothers, the new pitcher for the Rockies. It'll be Wilson.
Right-handed.
Leading things off for Milwaukee.
Yeah, a couple of guys going to swing it right-handed. He can go after you with it. He's pitched well. 17th appearance for him to make. 13 innings. He's pitched 13 hits. 17 strikeouts so far.
The walks have been the problem.
It have been. You don't work behind a little bit, get yourself in trouble. But of late, I've watched, liked what you see on the overpowering side of things.
Strike on Wilson. Jonathan Lucroy is on deck. You know, one thing that's interesting about Renicky, George, he has no problem using his number 2 catcher as a pinch hitter. He's done it with Kataris.
No, that's exactly right.
And he looks like he's going to do it with Lucroy. And that's a base hit for Josh Wilson. So Lucroy will come up and bat for Saito. Here's the bunt attempt, and Wigginton's going to have a play at second.
Oh, boy, went ahead and hard that spike on Tulo, too.
Yep.
Came right in the heel.
Wilson got a piece of Tulowitzki. Good play by Wigginton.
Well, it is a good play. Bunted very hard right out, directly to Wigginton where you get it. But see how that spike came in and caught Tulo right on the heel? It's not dirty play. It's clean play. So Wilson just trying to keep things in the other way. He's going to bring your legs in and try to do that.
Corey Hart, 1 for 3 and a walk. He's hit the ball hard today. He's lined out twice. Inside, ball 1. Talking about brothers' numbers, George. It's interesting. Righties hitting the low 200s, but lefties at 318.
Hanging sliders, trying to force the break on the slider. You know, when you do that, you slow down. His velocity's plenty, 95, 96 miles an hour. Sometimes 97.
He's at a Lipscomb University.
Just an underachieving guy in high school, and then went on to college and all of a sudden grew up, started throwing the ball harder, got noticed, obviously. And the same thing with Matt Reynolds, 20th round draft pick out of Austin Peay.
And this ball in the air to right center field, and Smith comes on.
2 outs.
That'll bring up Niger Morgan. Morgan's had a good series. 2 more hits today. He had a couple of hits in the ball game last night. On Friday night, he had 2 hits against Juan Nicasio. Seven hits in the series. Doug Melvin and Gord Ash on the baseball operations side from Milwaukee.
Do a really good job. I mean, if somebody that ought to get some credit too, put a lot of these guys together. Jack Zarincic was a scouting director in Milwaukee before he took the GM job. He was there a long time in Milwaukee. Braun, Fielder. I mean, there's a lot of guys that the reason they're here is because of the success. And even when they made the trade and got CC Sabathia, when they made that trade, it also was because of their farm system and allowed them to trade players to the Cleveland Indians to get CC.
Two balls and a strike on Morgan. Rockies will have Giambi, Tulowitzki, and Smith in the 8th. He gets Morgan. There was a hit and a man left in the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. A 2-run ball game. Hard blast. Jason Giambi in the 6th inning against Markham. And he got all of it. Upper deck shot. 452 feet. Home run number 425 for Giambi. He'll stride to the plate to lead things off in the bottom of the 8th inning. K-Rod is out there. He got the win last night in his first appearance for Milwaukee. So right now they're using K-Rod in the 8th inning and Axford in the 9th.
Now, you know, it really doesn't surprise me. Axford's a guy that's carried you all year long and puts you into this position, and then you pick up a very quality arm right here, so why not? McCoy goes in to stay after pinch hitting. He goes in and catches.
Strike on Giambi. This ball's drilled to the gap in right center field. Morgan will cut it off. Giambi's got to go hard into second, and he'll get there with a double. Giambi's numbers as a pinch hitter not great this year, but you put him in the starting lineup, he looks like the Jason Giambi in the prime of his career.
Absolutely, and it might not hurt you at that first at bat, but once he's in the game and gets some looks, the results tell the story. A home run in the upper deck and a double in right center field.
Today, 2 for 3 and a walk. Tulowitzki at the plate. Rockies trying to have a late comeback here against the Brewers. They've been out hit 11-6. Strikeout, deep drive to left, and a walk for Tulowitzki this afternoon. Two on Tulowitzki. Blocked by Lucroy. So Jason Giambi's just 2 for 21 in the pinch. No home runs. He has driven in 2. But as a starter, he's hitting .338, 10 home runs, 23 RBIs. Got 10 home runs in 90 official at-bats. That is by far the best rate on the club. Very good numbers, runners in scoring position for Tulowitzki. He's worked back in the count. It's 2-2. Breaking ball misses. It's 3-2. Smith on deck.
Because of that nasty slider, at times K-Rod will try to take the fastball away to the outer half. Now he did that on a 1-2 count and he didn't bite. Meaning Tulowitzki didn't. But in this situation, when a runner out at second, 2-run ball game, you're going to beat his best.
Strike 3 on the outside corner.
Pitcher's pitch. There's no question about this. Caught the bottom half of the zone in both areas, away and down. But on the overhead camera, it appears to be off the plate.
There's that old line. Too good. Too close to let it go, right? Helton hitting the pitcher spot after Seth Smith. One and one. Todd's the only left-handed bat on the bench for the Rockies this afternoon. The only other bats available, Mark Ellis and Chris Iannetta. Spilborghs has been used already. Wigginton's in the ball game. Came in a double switch. And Stewart started, and he's out of the game. Ground ball to Fielder. Giambi to third with 2 outs. Another Colorado Lottery replay. Todd Helton last night, a couple of hits, 3 RBIs, and this double nearly a home run off the top of the scoreboard. It tied up the baseball game, and a moment later, Tulowitzki brought Helton in with the one who put the Rockies in front temporarily 6-5.
Well, Todd Helton in his career has hit .332 with runners in scoring position. He's 0 for 3 this year as a pinch hitter.
We have Alfonso on deck if you're K-Rod. And you have to believe he's going to be awfully careful with Helton. I know Helton represents the tying run. First base is unoccupied. And managers would rather see a lesser player than a guy like Todd Helton hurt them.
The only part of the, I agree with everything you're saying, Drew, but I think the mentality of a closer, particularly a guy like K-Rod and other guys, they want the chance. They'll go right at guys. I mean, they don't hesitate off of it, because I think if there was that much fear and the ability, I mean, you intentionally walk the guy, yeah, you put the tying run on base and the winning run at home plate. But if you're worried about the guy at the plate beating you with the long ball, then you pass on him.
Helton's hot, 450 over the last 5. Giambi at third, a leadoff double. They're 2 gone now in the 8th. 4-2 Milwaukee. And a breaking ball on the outside corner. It's 2-2. Here's that violent windup.
Well, I'm telling you, he spins one of these off after he snaps off those nasty sliders. Still today, we've seen better velocity than we did the other day. It's been 92, 93. A whole bunch of movement.
Three and 2. Helton somewhat unusual in this day and age. He hits from a slightly closed stance. More hitters nowadays hit from More of an open stance, but that closed stance worked out pretty nicely for number 17. 3-2 with 2 outs. Outside, ball 4. So Helton walks. Tying run reaches. And Eliezer Alfonso will come up. He's 1 for 3. Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7+ in a ball game for the Rockies Taco Special, very simple. Text the keyword taco to 720-720. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. That's a strike. Alfonso has seen K-Rod once in his career without a hit. Boy, he got a heater there, George, and he was on it.
Yeah, now ahead 0-2. Guess what you're going to get to look at? I don't think you'll see another heater unless it's way out of the zone somewhere. You're going to get that nasty slider and try to get you to chase. He's got you right where he likes you. Likes to have you.
Well, the good ones maybe give you 1 pitch in at bat.
You just got it.
And you just got it if you're Alfonso. So now he's got to go into battle mode. 1st and 3rd with 2 outs. Here's the 0-2. And he got him on a nasty hook in the dirt. So K-Rod works out of it despite the leadoff double by Giambi. The Rockies do not cross home plate. We'll go to the 9th inning. Milwaukee 4, Colorado 2. Wonderful state. Rockies not in a good state right now. They're trailing Milwaukee 4-2, top of the 9th inning. We check in now with Tom Helmer. Tom?
Drew, will talk trial and errors. They had 3 errors in today's ball game. It really didn't explode on them, but it didn't help them either. We'll talk about that in the Rockies defensively. Also, Cookie Jard. He goes 4 2/3 innings because of 8 hits and 3 runs. We'll break down his performance as well. And as always, we'll get you into the Rockies clubhouse. Drew?
All right, Tom, thanks. Mark Kotze will lead things off. Matt Reynolds is now out there. Cook went 4 2/3, 3 runs, 8 hits, walked 3, struck out 1. Belisle in an inning and a third gave up a run on 2 hits. Betancourt a clean inning. And Rex Brothers gave up a hit in an inning, struck out 1, did not give up any runs, and now it's Matt Reynolds on.
And a lefty making his 45th appearance, and in those 45 appearances here, 44 appearances, he's thrown 31 2/3 innings. He struck out 33, walked 10. He'll go to work here. And
Gomez is going to hit now for Kotze, which means Gomez will go defensively into center field, don't you think, or will he go to left?
Well, it makes sense. He'll go into, I think he goes to center and Morgan swings over to left field, but you know, it makes sense. Renick's going to do this to protect the lead in the ninth anyhow, get Gomez in there. So instead of having Kotze go left on left, he puts up Gomez here. And Gomez takes a strike. And Reynolds has handled righties better than lefties this year. It's kind of the same deal with Brothers. Reynolds has held righty and adheres to a 163 average. Lefties are at 254. That missed, 1-1. Nice reaction, Ty Wigginton. He's only about 85 feet away. He got there in a hurry, 1 out.
Well, you got to play him because of the bunt, the speed of Gomez, and then you get this. Glad that it's a little off of away from you, not directly at you. Nice play by Ty Wigginton.
Crowd of better than 35,000 at the Yard today. Prince Fielder hits a towering fly ball left center field. Carlos Gonzalez territory, 2 outs. Rockies in the ninth inning. They'll see John Axford. They got scratched out a run against him last night when Helton singled in a run. They'll have Herrera, Wigginton, and Cargo. Ricky Weeks, a double in the second, a single in the fifth. He has scored a run. He's 2 for 4. Rockies in September go to Milwaukee for a 2-game series. September 13th and 14th. And Ryan Braun is in the on-deck circle. The pitcher spot is after Weeks. Two and two. Weeks, the second pick overall in the 2003 draft. Three and two. He won the Golden Spikes Award as the best amateur player in the country at Southern. And a walk, and that means Braun will hit here with 2 outs in the ninth inning.
And if you just got back into town, turn on your TV. Well, Ryan Braun had a little bit of a calf issue that came out of the game last night. That's why he didn't start today's game. But obviously, I think he's able to swing the bat. It's just if you hit the ball on the ground, don't take off flying.
Great numbers for Braun, 4-time All-Star now. Braun led all National League players in fan votes this year, which is really interesting, George. Braun is immensely popular, but you're talking about a player out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Not out of New York or LA.
I mean, I do know that Milwaukee does a great job of marketing their team. If you think a couple of years ago when Corey Hart made the All-Star team on the fan vote, it was the big Hart behind home plate, vote for Corey. That whole week they just went crazy on it. And lo and behold, they ended up doing it.
Tulowitzki with a beautiful play to get Braun. So we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Rockies in the same situation they were last night, deficient by a couple of runs on the scoreboard. Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. The Rockies tied up the baseball game in the bottom of the 4th inning. They fell behind 4-1 in the middle of the 6th, and then the long home run from Giambi to make it 4-2. Nothing much since then. The Rockies have been out hit today 11-6. Jonathan Herrera will lead things off, and then Ty Wigginton and Carlos Gonzalez.
Well, the right-hander comes out of the bullpen, 3rd on the list now for Brewers history consecutive save list. Doug Jones did it in 97, 25 consecutive. Cordero in 07 with 22 straight. Axford here in 11, 21 straight saves. So he struck out 54 in 43 in the 3rd innings. He'll start it out facing Johnny Herrera. Niger has moved to left. Gomez into center field.
They're one of the few teams that have 2 true center fielders like the Rockies, and Fowler and Gonzalez to patrol the enormous outfield that is here at Coors Field. That gets over the mound. Johnny will try to get a leg hit, and he will reach as it was bobbled by Josh Wilson. Wilson fields that cleanly and fires. He's going to get Herrera.
Now, there's no question, just high hop right over the mound, kind of a Christmas hop right even there. He just tried to make the exchange too quick and bobble the baseball. Should be an error on Wilson, and it is.
And now you have a big swing chance. Tying run at the plate in Ty Wigginton.
And you got a couple of them, Wigginton, then you got Gonzalez right behind him.
You have Fowler and Giambi a few doors down. Ball 1 on Wigginton, 1 for 2 since entering the ball game in the 5th inning. We've said it so many times as the season has unfolded. The Rockies have not had the dramatic win. They have one comeback win, line to right, stay fair. It is in the corner. Johnny Herrera will get a green light. Herrera around 3rd. Weeks throw to the plate is offline. It's 4-3. Ty Wigginton, the tie run in scoring position, nobody out.
38 RBIs now for Wigington, and as Helton looks on at his ball club after pinch hitting and walked, he's excited on that front step, watching what unfolded. That a little bit of a leak in the armor with the error by Wilson opened this up on a fastball away. Same type of swing Wigington had earlier. Stiff front side, inside out the baseball, this time with a whole lot more authority all the way down into the corner. Todd happy about it, high-fiving Johnny.
Safe at second, safe and secure New York life. And now the right man at the plate, Carlos Gonzalez, a chance to tie it. Or perhaps. ... 4-3, bottom of 9, nobody out. Boy, what a great AB from Ty Wigington. George, you know, a big, strong guy like Wigington, you sometimes get caught up in the moment. You try to pull and leave the yard. Wigington goes the other way with authority.
Just looking at the swing, where the pitch was, 95, did try to overpower the baseball.
Chopped to the left side. And Gonzalez is gone, 1 out. That'll bring up Fowler, and now Fowler will be called back, and Mark Ellis will pinch hit.
Looking at numbers, Jim Tracy does a lot of that. Fowler's 0 for 2 against Axford. Let Ellis go up, see what happens, see if he can hit the ball to the right side, create some offense, get a veteran at bat out of Ellis.
I think this has, George, far more to do with the fact that Dexter has struggled mightily all year from the left side. Mark Ellis, since the acquisition from Oakland, has been terrific, particularly at Coors Field, where he's hit close to 500. He's become Mr. Double. And he takes high, ball 1. Closing in on 10 years of service time in the big leagues, a native of Rapid City, South Dakota, Mark Ellis. Here's the 1-0. Locked him up, it's 1-1. Six ball games in his career against Milwaukee in interleague play prior to coming over. 423 average. Two and 1. Giambi is on deck. Rockies trailed 8-6 last night when they came up in the bottom of the 9th inning. Helton drove in 1, but the Rockies couldn't get the equalizer. They fell 8-7. They've gotten 1 across here in the 9th again against Axford. And now he asks for Jonathan Lucroy to come out. Rockies have 1 walk-off win this year as we look at that graphic on Ellis's resume. And it happened recently in extra innings. You know, the Rockies, the last team to have a walk-off win this year in baseball. Here's the 2-1. Axford not going after Ellis, George, with the fastball. He's gone slider.
A lot of breaking balls. Ellis, good fastball hitter, too, though. Maybe that's the thing. He's just trying to stay away from his fastball or doesn't feel comfortable throwing it for strike today.
1 out, Wigington is at second base. Breaking ball again, it's fouled off. A steady diet of sliders from the hard-throwing John Axford.
Yeah, it's been 95-mile-an-hour fastball earlier. That's why it's a little puzzling. Just like you point out, all sliders.
Ellis, one of those guys who hits more toward the front of the batter's box, regardless of who's pitching. I mean, you got a flamethrower on the hill, but look where Mark Ellis sets up.
About 4 to 6 inches. You can see where other guys have been digging in the dirt right behind that back foot.
2-2. Heater fouled off at 97.
Yeah, a little giddy up on that one.
Yeah, he reached back for a little something extra. So another thing the Rockies are trying to turn around, talking about walk-off wins. The Rockies this year 0-39 when they trail after 8 innings. That's hard to believe.
That is hard to believe.
Especially for a club that has made a strong reputation of breaking hearts at Coors Field. And the opposition thinks they have one in the hip pocket. Strike 3 on Ellis, and it was with the slider.
Yeah, harder slider and a little bit flatter, almost like a cutter. It didn't have that big bend, hard bite to it the way the first 5 offerings did to Mark Ellis. This is a hard slider. See a cut and a bite right there. Man, it got after it pretty good, and it is a strike.
So it'll come down to Giambi against Axford. And Jason has had a big afternoon. When he starts, he's been a terror. He had the monstrosity of a home run to the third deck. It's the 32nd baseball ever to arrive from the third deck. And then his last time up, he ripped a double to deep right center field. Also a walk today. These are at-bats Giambi's familiar with, facing a closer in the 9th inning. The only difference is he's already had 4 ABs and a sweat going today. He takes high on a fastball. 1-0. The outfield is shortened up a little bit, George, from where they normally play for Giambi to give themselves a shot at Wigginton, especially in center and left.
And they have to, because on that hard line drive hit right at you, Morgan's arm is average, a little bit below average. Gomez has a decent arm, and then right field Hart has a plus arm. But if that ball goes to the left side of this place, they're going to have to get to it in a hurry and get it in, and have a chance at Ty Wigginton at the plate.
One and one on Giambi. Inside 2-1.
98 with that fastball.
And he's not going to leave anything in the clubhouse. Wow. Whatever he's got, Giambi's going to see. The 2-1. And it's 3-1. Tulowitzki's on deck. It's been a mostly forgettable afternoon. The Rockies not much offense. They haven't pitched particularly well. They've made 3 errors, but they have a chance. That's all you ask for. They've been out hit 11-7. Trailing 4-3 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Wigginton at second. Here's the 3-1. Another 98-mile-an-hour fastball at the knees. It's 3-2.
Yeah, what were all the other 29 teams doing when he was in an independent league in Canada when he was signed by the Milwaukee Brewers? Holy mackerel, good scouting. That is some kind of arm.
35,000+ on their feet. 3-2 on the big man. And we'll do it again. Three-two again. And Giambi got that pitch up in the strike zone, and he was on it.
They like to use the word tick in baseball. He was a tick away from hitting that very far. Keep watching, son. Hopefully you'll see some high fives in a second.
Here we go again. Inside, ball 4. So now the winning run to first. And all-star Troy Tulowitzki to the plate. Rockies are going to get a runner, I think, for Giambi. At least that looked like the motion from the dugout. There's only one man left. That's Iannetta in terms of position players. So it'll be Jhoulys Chacín to run for Giambi. This is a career first for Chacín. Tulowitzki steps up. He's 0 for 3 and a walk. Watching a trend, George, more and more Tulowitzki, especially with guys in scoring position, gets a first pitch breaking ball.
Yep. And again, you sit there and go look at it. There's such great, good first pitch fastball hitters in these situations. They're looking to crank. They're amped up. They're ready to just turn on a ball. So you try to negate that by going to something off speed, going something moving down and away from them. So again.
Tulowitzki quickly in a ditch, 0-2. These are the situations he covets. He wants to be out there when everything's on the line. And he's got great numbers, 2 outs and runners in scoring position. 2-strike count with 2 outs. Tying run at second. The winning run at first. 4-3 Milwaukee. Axford wins the battle. Milwaukee gets a split. They win on Sunday afternoon 4-3. And the Rockies' troubles on Sunday continue. They have not won a Sunday ball game at Coors Field all year. They fall to 2-13 on Sunday afternoons. Unbelievable. The winning pitcher is Sean Markham. He improves to 8-3. Aaron Cook falls to 0-5. Axford now has 22 straight saves. Again, the final score 4-3. Today's delivery of the game is